What's up, y'all? How everybody doing? Shout out to everybody in the chat, y'all. Man, look, I'm telling y'all, bro, it's finna go down because I think I'm on to something here with all these little cover-ups and stuff that be in our face, and we like, man, these cover-ups got to be unreal. Like, is we living real life? Check this out, gang. I was looking at Kendrick Johnson case, and y'all follow that case too as well, right? So y'all should know everything what was being said about the Kendrick Johnson. All right, so you should know the whole narrative about Kendrick Johnson. You know, Kendrick Johnson was buried without, you know what I'm saying, certain parts. And you know, he died in the gym at school. Right? And we know it's some students involved. Well, allegedly, everything gonna be allegedly, right? So, you know, students' names came up and there was a couple of boys that was in the school and they connected his parents to be FBI agents and stuff, you know, FBI agents. All right. You know, the police covered it up. We already know they tampered with the crime scene and cover up the crime scene and all this, and then gave us a lot of edited footage and stuff. Right. But when I tried to go back and look for certain things with a fresh mind, I can't even find the 911 call that when she reported her son missing, the mother, she the one that reported her son missing. Now look, check this out, right? I can't find that. I'm like, okay, well, where's that called it? You know? So I started looking at it with a little fresh eyes of my own, since I already know, you know what I'm saying, a little something about the case, but I overlooked it. Now look, gang. I want to show y'all this. Right? Now I read all of this. Blunt force trauma, right? And you know where the conspiracy come in at. Keep this in mind, right? In the beginning, they ruled it as accidental. They ruled it. Then the family had the second autopsy, which is gonna show blunt force trauma. Now keep this in mind. You got an accident, right? Look, you got an accidental, right? That's the first autopsy report. Keep that in mind. The second autopsy, the family got another autopsy report and it revealed blunt force trauma. Right. Let's go to the I got the autopsies right here, right? And I want some of y'all to really look into this. Now look, this is what we finna read. Y'all see this autopsy report? Right. This gonna be the second autopsy report. But that's where you're gonna get the blunt force trauma. Cause of death, you see that? Blunt force trauma. And look, William R. Anderson, right? So look, boom. Hold up. Where the other one there? Oh man, I ain't do the other autopsy. Hold on, y'all, be right back. I got to pull that one up. Hold on. Hold up. Oh no. I think I can go to that. Yeah, I think I can go to this one. Hold on, it's right here. Yeah, I can go to this one. Here we go, gang. Alright. I just showed y'all the second autopsy, right? This the second autopsy. Is this the same one? What did I just had the other one? Hold on, gang. Yeah, cause that's 4 pages. What I do with the? Hold on, y'all. Give me 1 second, gang. I gotta find that, y'all. Oh, wait. Oh, here we go. What I was looking for. Here we go, gang. Now y'all know it's the first autopsy. Look, we performed the autopsy at Robert Bryan Funeral Home. Now look, so I googled Robert Bryan Funeral Home, and it don't show no Robert Bryan Funeral Home in Georgia, right? But it's a Robert Bryan Funeral Home. It's in Orlando, Florida. So I'm guessing this the funeral home that was there and they just moved to Orlando, Florida. Now check this out. The second autopsy is from the Browns family. Now when I looked and Googled that up, the Browns funeral home is permanently closed. So think about this. Y'all remember when I said, when it come to like crimes like this and it's very, very organized, this how you know when it's foul play. Cause guess who will be picking up the body? The funeral homes. Funeral homes. Like they came and got Kenneka a funeral home, no coroner, no medical examiner office, no. But the funeral home. That's how you finna find out this finna be foul play. So boom. The first autopsy that came from Brian, they the one that said, oh, this was accidental. This was accidental. Then another funeral home did the autopsy and said blunt force trauma to the head. So if you add the first autopsy with the second autopsy, rule the accidental out and keep it. When they rule it accidental, they said he died from what? Let's go to the death. Look, positional asphyxiation. And he had a broken neck. Blunt force trauma to the neck. Keep that in mind, gang. Now listen to this. Now, since I'm showing y'all some kind of flaw with the funeral home, let's go back to when the mother called the police and to report her child missing. Now think about this. Right? Think about this, gang. I'm finna let this read it. This finna give us a timeline to everything that we need to know. Hold on. I should start from right here. Matter of fact, let me start it from right here.
Creedle, a veteran homicide detective from Washington, D.C., is referring to his work investigating the death of Kendrick Johnson, a 17-year-old boy who was found dead in a rolled-up wrestling mat at his Valdosta, Georgia, high school on January 11, 2013. Creedle was called in after several local authorities recused themselves from the case, which many believe was due to the primary persons of interest being the sons of an FBI agent.
All right, let's keep that in mind. It's, if you gotta take notes on this stuff. We got 2 funeral homes that did autopsy reports, right? 2 funeral homes. You gotta look at the first funeral home since they trying to rule it as an accidental. Then we gotta go back to the photos, right? And the second funeral home that did they autopsy, they permanent closed, meaning they is no longer in business. Keep that in mind. All right.
Body parts are missing. Newly released footage of Kendrick Johnson's last moments, the latest in troubling death investigation. Through interviews, police documents, and along with Kendrick's parents, relatives, and friends, recounted their experiences for Finding Kendrick Johnson, a new documentary that is available on various streaming platforms, including Amazon Prime Video and Google Play.
All right. All right. Keep that in mind. Take notes if you have to, because this may mean something and this may not mean something. But I want y'all to be the judge on that part, right? Check this out.
Body parts are missing. Newly released footage of Kendrick Johnson. The film's producer, Jason Pollock, told Crime Online that he spent 6 years examining Kendrick's case, an independent investigation he said authorities did not know about. In addition to revisiting some of the more troubling aspects of the investigation into Kendrick's suspicious death, including the teen's missing organs and unidentified blood splatter found near his body, the documentary presents a damning piece of evidence that was never before made public. Surveillance stills showing the primary person of interest standing next to Kendrick before he vanished, contradicting claims that he did not see Kendrick the day he vanished on campus.
Now, did y'all hear that? Now, take notes on this. They said the surveillance still showed the primary suspect of interest standing next to Kendrick before he vanished. And the same person that's on the footage say he did not see Kendrick on the day he vanished on campus. All right? Now look, I'm finna show you it's gonna be like the same cover up in other cases. Now think about this. Just look at this like a ritual. Y'all remember we were talking about these little rituals and stuff. All right. Kendrick disappearing and death. Throughout the interview, police document forensic evidence, find Kendrick Johnson, you know what I'm saying, illustrated how the 17-year-old boy disappeared, and death sparked years of work investigations. All right, now look. I'm finna let this read it.
Campus. At Crimean Line News, a clip provided Crime Online. A surveillance still shows Kendrick front in his high school's gym before his disappearance. Image. Lowndes County Public Schools. Kendrick vanished at Lowndes High School around 1:20 p.m. on January 10, 2013. Though surveillance cameras were located all over campus, the last footage of Kendrick shows him walking into the gym behind other students before going out of frame. Kendrick missed his 4th period class and did not come home from school, prompting his family
He missed for a period. Now, I don't know what time for a period may be, but now we got a timeline to start with. He didn't show up for fourth period. He didn't show up for fourth period. What time do kids normally take fourth period? I need to do a little Google research on that right quick. But this finna come into a major factor in this case. All right.
Family to file a missing persons report that night. As Kendrick lay dead in the gym, the basketball and color guard teams held their night practices.
Y'all see that? Now look. Ain't this a major red flag? He missed the fourth period and he didn't come home, so his family filed a missing person report that night. Keep this in mind. Guess what time they filed the missing person report? At 12 o'clock midnight. Check this out. As Kendrick lay deceased in the gym, the basketball and color guard team held their night practice. So it was people still there, but no surveillance footage of this? All right. He was found in the gym 10:30 a.m., roughly 10 hours before his mama reported him missing. I want to know why they reported him missing earlier before that. Like, you know what time he normally get there, you know. Now look, check this out, right? Now you gotta go back. He missed fourth period. Boom, people still gonna be at the gym while he laying deceased. Right? So how many hours this gonna be already? Calculate the hours up. Cause now you finna see when rigor mortis set in, cause this where you finna find out the stages of it. This would show you or give you an actual timeline of when he actually decided to die. You see what I'm saying? Now look, roughly 10 hours after his family reported him missing, he was located in the left corner of the gym. 10 hours. Rolled up and laying against a wall. A pair of Nike shoes was found in the mat with Kendrick. Listen to this. One of the black and the white Adidas shoe was found near Kendrick in a pool of blood. The second shoe was discovered on the floor in front of the mat in the gym. According to the news outlet, listen to this. Kendrick's mother, Jaquilla Johnson, told filmmakers that she was on the campus when her son was found, and the police did not let her or aunt see the body. It might don't be nothing suspicious about that, but around about 11 to 12, you know, something like that. Now look, all right. So 10 hours, that's 11:30, 12:30, 1:30. Hold on. He was found in the gym, so they go back to 9:30, 8:30, 7:30. 1:30, 12:30. You know, yeah, like I said, 12:30, right? So now look. So she filed a misreport 12:30. then he will be, keep this in mind what they said up here. As Kendrick was laying there, the basketball and the color guard team held their nightly practice, so they were actually shooting basketball in here. And there's no surveillance footage of them shooting basketball. Now this what they said upside down in the mat. But you gotta go with the photos. Just look at the crime scene photo. Now, if you look at the photos, he ain't reaching for no shoes like they said he was claiming. These the shoes he gonna have on, right? This the cold part about it. They said this the shoe that he supposed to be probably reaching for. My understanding in the beginning, so they try to make it seem like this shoe was at the bottom and Kendrick was losing blood, was bleeding all over the shoe. Y'all see how they playing it, right? But look, just look at the crime scene and stuff. All right, you see that? He going to the gym, right?
Practices. Local newspaper Valdosta today reported that those children claimed, when questioned by police, that they never saw or heard Kendrick in the gym. Kendrick was found dead in the gymnasium at 10:30 a.m. on January 11th, roughly 10 hours after his family reported him missing. He was located in the left corner of the gym, in a rolled-up mat that was lying against a wall. A pair of Nike shoes was found in the mat with Kendrick, and one black and white Adidas shoe was found near Kendrick in a pool of blood. The second shoe was discovered on the floor in front of one of the mats in the gym, according to the local news outlet. Kendrick's mother, Jacqueline Johnson, told filmmakers that she was on campus when her son was found, and police would not let her or Kendrick's aunt see his body. Advertisement. While Jacqueline may have been kept from her son to secure the scene and possible evidence, Pollock told Crime Online that Lowndes High School was not placed on lockdown the morning the teen's body was found on campus. Police's investigation into Kendrick's death. Kendrick's body found in a gym mat alongside a pair of shoes image. Millennial PR Lowndes County Police said they believed Kendrick crawled into the mat to retrieve his shoes, became stuck, and continued to burrow into the mat until he became completely trapped and died.
Really? But look, the shoes is on top of him. You see that? Now look, who would crawl on top of her and try to reach down and go to pick up some shoes? And keep this in mind, when you roll the gym mat up, this how you know somebody placed him in there. Because if you looked at all the gym mats, when you roll it up, it ain't gonna be no circle on the inside. It would be impossible for. They're just like rolling up a phone. You know what I'm saying? Now look, you gotta go back to the crime scene. Cause check this out. Keep this in mind. The mama gonna be up there with her auntie, and the police them gonna be there.
Died. The county medical examiner concluded Johnson died of positional asphyxia and deemed his death accidental.
Now, I believe that part, positional asphyxiation, at the time of his death. So look, they're gonna say that because of the positioning that he's in. This is a stage positioning. But if you rule an accident now, keep the position asphyxiated in. Because you can rule, because this lot of common, this common when it comes to strangulation. And you know, this how, if a police use force, heavy force, 9 times out of 10, this why you can't breathe, because positional asphyxiation. Now look, you got people playing basketball, shooting hoops, right? Mm-hmm. And we all should know what time practice should be over with. Now look.
Accidental. The swift determination drew skepticism from many, including Johnson's family, Creedle, and Pollock. For 11 of my 20.
Now, y'all see that? They even got the Johnson's family. So, now y'all see how they even said, look, if they trying to make it look like the Johnson family, the Creed, and Pollock, making it look like they all working together, right? I don't know. I ain't saying that, but I just want y'all to, can y'all see this with a fresh pair of eyes? Because this dealing with, you know what? I believe this is sacrificial ritual. I bet you this is sacrificial ritual. All right, check this out.
Body parts are missing. Newly released footage of Kendrick Johnson's last moments, the latest in troubling death investigation. For 11 of my 23 years, I worked cold cases. I've never seen a doctor rule on a theory without being able to present facts to me, Creedle told Crime Online, claiming the medical examiner kicked him out of her office when he questioned her about her findings. When doctors are not sure how someone died, they tell us, "Detective, find me something that can help me lead towards a direction." Some cases are left undetermined for years. Pollock told Crime Online that the lungs of someone who asphyxiates are heavier because the lungs fill with fluid, causing death. However, Pollock said Kendrick's lungs post-mortem were a normal weight for a boy his age and size. Advertisement. Despite his death being ruled accidental, Lowndes County Police initially said they did not immediately test some blood splatter located 40 feet from Kendrick's body. They said they later tested the blood, and it was not a match for Kenrick, but it remains unclear who it belongs to. Police said a bloody tissue was found in the girls' bathroom near the gym was also tested and did not match the blood discovered near Kendrick's body, according to Valdosta Today. Today. While presenting the case to the public in October 2014, Lieutenant Stride Jones explained why they could not test every student. It's not Kendrick's blood. Now we do not know whose blood it is. Well, a lot of people ask, why didn't you test everyone at the school? Well, number one, we don't have a legal basis. Number two, you're talking about testing 3,000 people, he said. Advertisement. More discrepancies. A shoe found on top of a pool of blood near Kendrick's body. Image. Lowndes Regional Crime Laboratory. Finding Kendrick Johnson presents police documents that state that Kendrick is 5 feet, 10 inches tall, and his shoulders measured 19 inches. In comparison, the mat he was found in is 6 feet long, and the opening was 14 inches. Students who did not want to pay for a locker reportedly used the mats to stow their personal items.
Now stop it right there. So if that's the case, it's gonna be a normal thing for students to be running over there and hiding stuff over there. But that sound like a cover up, cause you don't got to pay for no lockers. When I went to school, who paying for lockers? I thought you was assigned to a locker. So it's funny that they trying to make it look like this the reason why you would see a bunch of kids over there. And I'm gonna tell y'all like this here. It would be impossible for a body to be in that gym for a child don't find it. Come on, gang, listen to this. Just look into this, right?
Items. One of Kendrick's close friends and classmates, Malik Austin, explained in the documentary that the students did not lean into the mat to retrieve their shoes. They tilted the mat to release the shoes.
They tilted the mat and released their shoe, all right?
Advertisement.
So that makes you want to think if that means if they doing that in the gym, you got to be on the basketball team. Ooh, cause only basketball team would do that. If they in the gym, where you think they finna hide their shoes at? I know that. Now you got a flaw in her. If they in the gym, man, if I got some J's on and I ain't finna hoop in my J's, so I can see what they saying. Yeah, put your shoes over there up under those gym mat. Now I can see that. So it got to be people on the basketball team had to do the same thing. So this might be the basketball team who they talking about. This might be the basketball team.
Images from the scene show Johnson lying in a pool of blood. Notably, the shoe located on top of the blood is spotless, suggesting, in the view of the family and film producers, that the item was planted. 2 independent autopsies contradict police's claims. Kendrick's parents had his body exhumed in June 2013 and June 2018 for further examination. Both independent autopsy reports determined the 17-year-old died of non-accidental blunt force trauma.
Now y'all see that? Now listen to this. They got 2013 first autopsy, 2018, you know what I'm saying, years later, so that's like 5 years. Hold on. 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, yep, about 5 years, right? Both independent autopsies determined non-accidental blunt force trauma inconsistent with positional asphyxiation determined made by the Georgia Bureau of Investigation. It's the first autopsy.
Trauma, inconsistent with the positional asphyxia determination made by the Georgia Bureau of Investigation. Dr. William R. Anderson wrote in his June 2013 report that Kendrick suffered blunt force trauma, right neck, involving right mandible and soft tissues, including the area of the carotid body, consistent with inflicted injury. The second independent autopsy, that Dr. Anderson also performed, yielded the same findings, with the report explicitly stating that their findings were not consistent with positional asphyxia, which was Georgia officials' final determination. Kendrick's first exhumation was met with controversy when it was revealed that every organ from his pelvis to his skull, including his brain, heart, lungs, and liver, was gone and replaced with newspaper.
All right. So his organ was removed. And his organ was removed from the first burial, from the first autopsy. Right? So when they pick the body up, he ain't gonna have no organs. So that means the last funeral home, where the first funeral home is who? Go back to the first funeral home that had the body. Right? Let y'all know. Look, Ryan Bryan Funeral Home. Now this funeral home, I cannot find it. I swear I cannot find it in Georgia. But this same funeral home, well, this the only name I done seen pop up on Google, is the one in Orlando, Florida. So I'm hoping that this the one in Orlando, Florida, and they just moved from Atlanta, Georgia. I mean, from Georgia, right? So this look, Robert Bryan Funeral Home gotta be responsible for the organ being missing. And the Bryan's family, the Bryan's Funeral Home, they received the body with no organ. So if the body was in possession of the funeral home, that means they did something with the organs. So what time they actually picked the body up? Now, the people said he's gonna have a foul smell in there, so he was already had a foul smell to him. Now look.
Newspaper. According to CNN, funeral director Antonio Harrington claimed the 17-year-old's organs were destroyed through the natural process due to the position of his body when he died.
That's a lie. The organ is not gonna be destroyed. So you mean to tell me you didn't do no toxicology reports? What kind of autopsy wait a minute. I don't see nothing about weighing of the lungs. When you come to autopsy, you supposed to weigh the lung. What color was the lungs? Was the lungs fix it? We pull the blood. All that supposed to read. Look at all the information they left out. No toxicology reports, no blood testing, no none of this stuff. All right.
Died. He also stated the funeral home never had Johnson's organs, saying they were discarded by the prosecutor before the body was sent back to Valdosta for burial. Adding to the confusion is the fact that in October 2013, the Georgia Bureau of Investigation told CBS that Kendrick's organs were returned to his body following the autopsy, as per protocol. Those organs were in the body when we sent it back to the funeral home.
So, whoa. So you mean to tell me the Georgia Bureau had the body and gave the body to the funeral home? So that means they took the organs, gave the body to the funeral home without the organs, and they packed it with newspaper. The funeral home would have been know this. That's just like bringing in a pizza box, and you can feel. Wait a minute, this is it pizza in here? Keep this in mind, he ain't even died. Well, it's been 24 hours. If he died in 24 hours, what would the smell would be coming from? Now y'all see where I'm finna go with this, right? All right. So let's go to this. Listen to this, gang. Students describing the discovery of the body.
The surveillance video from the Lowndes High School gym. But what does that video show? It appears that out of more than 30 surveillance cameras, only one angle, one blurry piece of video shows the corner of the gym and the rolled up mats.
Now y'all see they only got one camera at the time. Y'all see how they were releasing little bits and pieces of the cameras? Check it out.
Where Johnson's body was found. You can see in one piece of the video where students and teachers found Johnson's body that morning back in January. But the video appears to give no clear, obvious clue as to exactly how his body got inside of those mats. But today, for the very first time, we're hearing from a classmate of Johnson's who was inside of that gym when his body was found.
They pulled down the mat and his legs and feet were hanging out of the mat. He wasn't moving, and the smell, it smelled bad. You could smell it, the shock.
Now y'all heard what the girl just said. So the mat had, now y'all see how the mat seal? You don't see no circle in the mat. when you roll it up, it's impossible for you to. But look, she said the mat had to be laying down for everybody to be seeing his feet dangling out the mat. Dangling out the mat. Now look. Now think about what will be the coaches at? All the coaches that will be in here, cause they going over practice. They going over practice. And you know the coach is responsible for the gym looking all neat. Come on, y'all. Somebody rolled him up in that gym mat, and it was more than students. More than students. You can even tell they even got to tie these jumps up for them to stay rolled up. Now the lady said this.
Had, left us all, and we'd realized that.
Teachers found Johnson's body that morning back in January. But the video appears to give no clear, obvious clue. The surveillance video from the Lowndes High School gym.
Just
but
look at
what
the
does
scene.
that video show? It appears that out of more than 30 surveillance cameras, only one angle, one blurry piece of video shows the corner of the gym and the rolled up mats where Johnson's body was found. You can see in one piece of the video where students and teachers
Now there he go right there in the mat. In the mat. Look at the crime scene. Ain't that's how exactly the little white girl just said? Watch what the white girl finna say.
found Johnson's body that morning back in January. But the video appears to give no clear, obvious clue as to exactly how his body got inside of those mats. But today, for the very first time, we're hearing from a classmate of Johnson's who was inside of that gym when his body was found.
They pulled down the mat and his legs and feet were hanging out of the mat. He wasn't moving, and the smell. It smelled bad. You could smell it. The shock had, left us all, and we'd realized that.
Then they go to shoe right there. Now look, you got a shoe right here.
One of our classmates had died, and
look, no blood on it, but it's blood on that shoe. But somebody wiped the shoe clean. All you got to do is watch the surveillance camera and see who had on this pair of shoes.
Our school, right?
You can narrow it down when
we
you
spent
watch
hours
the
this
video.
afternoon combing through that video, and the video itself is confusing. There's no timestamp, no date stamp, no apparent order for any of these clips. In fact, an attorney for the family said that the family is rather suspicious, and they're going to bring in their own.
All right. Now look. Let's go to this. Now, let me show y'all the crime scene.
Tonight, Victor Blackwell has exclusive information, some disturbing new evidence, photos and videos that only raise more questions. And we do want to warn you, some of the video you're about to see is graphic, difficult to watch. Here's Victor's report.
It's the only video shot inside the Lowndes High School gym the day 7.
Keep this in mind, this is going to be the same video that we just saw on this joint, right? This the same video. Let's go back to when they were showing y'all right here.
Inside of that gym when his body was found.
They pulled down the mat and his legs and feet were hanging out of the mat.
Seventeen-year-old Kendrick Johnson was found dead, and with his parents' approval, we're showing it for the first time.
Now look at the crime scene.
Lowndes County, Georgia investigators say Kendrick's death was a tragic accident. that he climbed onto these rolled gym mats to reach for this shoe at the center of one
See that? Just look at it.
mat, slipped, got stuck upside down, and died. County officials say the blood in this photo spilled after Kendrick's heart had stopped pumping hours.
Now, you heard what he said? The blood supposed to been... I guess Kendrick was upside down, coughing up blood, and it drained all over the shoe to the bottom of the floor. Look how somebody wiped the shoe clean and didn't even get inside the shoe screen. I mean, the little wedge marks in her. That's a dead giveaway. You cleaned it, but you didn't clean it thoroughly. Right? Look how clean that shoe is, bro. What they say again?
Kendrick's death was a tragic accident, that he climbed onto these rolled gym mats to reach for this shoe at the center of one mat, slipped, got stuck upside down, and died. County officials say the blood in this photo spilled after Kendrick's heart had stopped pumping hours after he had died. But Kendrick's parents say the photo and the video show something else.
It's enough evidence.
Now, you know the mama up there, but the mama and the auntie was already at the school. So now let me put my thinking cap on right quick. It's nothing strange, you know, the mama making a missing person report, but why so late at night? Why exactly at 12? Why it could have been like, cause I know my child ain't home in the next, you know, if they supposed to be there like at 4, and if they ain't make it there at 5, bruh, I know something immediately wrong. No calls, I know something ain't right. So time finna be start ticking now. I'm finna be calling everybody, man, you ain't heard nothing, you know what I'm saying? You my boy, you know what I'm saying? You'll be calling all around. So you got up that morning and you went to the school because you still would be there when they found your son. So I want to know what time she actually arrived at the school and hung out. Right? How was the principal acting at the time? How was the staff? And what was the janitors at? And what was the talk about the kid? Because you know he is going to talk at this point, right? Now look, we know he missed 4th period and then went to no class after that, but right at the end of 3rd period. That means he probably had missed lunch and everything. So he missed lunch and everything. So you already know it's going to be some big talking. Now look. So she gonna be up there. They found the man around 10:30 in the morning. 10:30 in the morning. So the police get up there, they filming it, and they didn't want the mama to see the body. Right? At this point, we need to watch a couple of more minutes of this video
To show that Kendrick was murdered.
CNN has exclusively obtained the 15-minute video and nearly 700 photos of the scene taken by Lowndes County investigators. And for the first time, Kendrick's parents, Kenneth and Jacqueline Johnson, are ready to look at them, including these pictures of orange and black gym shoes.
Now here go another pair of shoes. Now where the other pair of shoes at? You got this Air Force One. Check this out. It's not that hard to go to the surveillance footage and see who had on these shoes. Cause 9 times out of 10, it's gonna be one person with this shoe on with the yellow stripe. With the orange stripe, Jack. Lead it. Cause that's how you gonna identify. If I watch that footage, cause that's the first thing I'm gonna watch. Let me watch that footage and let me see who walking around with these pairs of shoes on. That's how you finna find your suspect. So you got Adidas shoe on and it got blood on it. What? And they saying he supposed to be reaching for this shoe? It could have been a big old fight in that job. Sound like a fight was going down to me. Sound like an attack with multiple people. But this just ain't no one person doing, because now you got two shoes on the scene. Then Kendrick Johnson's shoes is thrown on top of him.
Investigators found just yards from Kendrick's body.
Did these shoes belong to Kendrick?
No.
When you look at these shoes that were at the scene, what stands out to you?
The blood on the shoe.
But investigators say tests show the stains are something other than blood, so the shoes were not collected as potential evidence.
I don't understand why you didn't.
CNN took the photos to independent private investigator and former FBI Special Agent Harold Kopis. If you were on this scene, would this have been something you would have left?
No. Bag and tag.
There's no indication investigators ever even looked for the owner of the shoes or this hooded sweatshirt found a few feet from Kendrick's body.
All you gotta do is go to the surveillance footage and see who had the items on. See, the police know that. That's why you got all the time skipping on the footage, right? And guess who the police, and then look, guess who the police gonna have to cover for? Allegedly, those two students is daddy that work for the FBI. They the one gonna control this investigation. Now, check this out, right? Listen to this. We don't know if this was planned it. This could have been planned it for months. Just for these purposes. Look.
And if you look real close, there's something on this particular cuff. And then the question is, was it blood? Did you test it?
According to the crime lab report, no.
They know something happened in that gym, and they don't want it to come out.
For the Johnsons, there's no stronger indicator than this photo. It's of what appears to be blood dripping down a wall. Here's what Lowndes County.
Nah, and if you look at these blood splatters, nah, it's kind of hard to determine what kind of blood splatter these is. Because you got 1, 2, 3 big ones right here. And look at all the rest of them that's circling around. So you know it's going to have little bits of blood splatter. But if you look at the top, you got a circle up here. The only thing I can say, did somebody was ramming their head against the wall? I can see that part. But this would be like, you know what I'm saying? I don't know. I just got to demonstrate. I got to demonstrate that. But, boom, you could be slamming somebody's head against the wall. How many feet this in the air anyway? I want to know what how tall this is, what the ruler say. Ain't giving me, look like 4 feet or so.
County Lieutenant Stride Jones told CNN about that wall in May.
And we tested it, and it was blood. Now, we did DNA testing, and it was not the blood of Kendrick Johnson.
If it wasn't Kendrick blood, who blood was it?
Who blood it was?
Did you ever find out who it was or any involved?
No, as of now we haven't, no. But it doesn't appear to be related to our crime in any way.
What do you think about the decision not to test it further?
You can't explain it. If you're running the crime scene, then you're going to say that's potential evidence. Obviously, we're going to check this out and find out who does it belong to.
This is an athletic gym. I mean, obviously, this is where they conduct.
So you got blood all like that, or what's really going on in that gym then? Is they using that gym for something at nighttime that we don't know nothing about? That's something to look into. Why they talking about everybody was still playing basketball while that man was in there, you know what I'm saying? Man, look. Bro, it could have been them people in there, bro, in that gym that night. But where the surveillance footage of them practicing in the gym. Check this out.
Various athletic classes and instructions at.
A kid couldn't have scraped their knee or arm or something and got that much blood on the wall.
There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 impacts.
The opinion of our crime scene personnel, after looking at it closely, the blood appeared as it had been there for an extended period of time. Didn't appear to be very fresh.
School gym. There is no way that they would allow whoever was supposed to clean this gym to leave that blood on that wall.
And there's the question, why was there no blood where they expected to see lots of blood? Remember the photo of that shoe investigators say was inches below Kendrick's head? Look at it again.
If he was inside the mat, reaching for...
Now, he got his shoes on top of him. So, why would his shoes would even be off? Why would he even be taking his shoes off on a basketball court? You ain't finna play hoop in your socks. The story don't sound right, cause that ain't just really what happened to that man, bruh. So you could, so all of that he was reaching for his shoe, that was made up. That was made up. Man, something happened to that man. Blood got everywhere. His neck ended up broken. And since his neck was broken, his neck had to been breaking. But this finna come from a blunt force trauma to the head. So somebody could have slammed him on his head, broke his neck, and this time you know he gonna be gasping for air. But check this out. Will make it so bad, somebody positioning him in a way to make sure he don't gas for no more air. This where position asphyxiation gonna come in there, right? So they finna cover up. So what they finna use their positioning. So since they know, look, since I cut his wind off, now you cut the man wing off, the man dead, now you like, let's put him in the mat, roll him up, but that's finna cover up for what we just did. You see what I'm saying? So the mat finna be the excuse why he couldn't even breathe. That's how you finna rule a homicide, right? Cause look, if he was finna go in the gym, did he have an extra pair of shoes he was finna put on and didn't want to hoop in his good shoes? And when he was in the gym, he still had a notebook in his hand and he ain't even had no gym clothes on, and I ain't seen no teachers and no kind of activities in the gym, but just people in the gym that weren't supposed to be in the gym. It wasn't like a class was going on. I ain't seen no PE activities, you know what I'm talking about? So listen to this.
For that shoe. Inside this tube, reaching for the shoe, and the shoe is beneath him. Why isn't that shoe covered with blood?
And what do you think about that shoe not being covered with blood?
It was placed there.
Hey, Sheriff.
If I was the dad, I would have supposed to been like, man, look, that ain't my son's shoe. I don't even know why he would be reaching for a shoe. You see what I'm saying? I'm just picking out little stuff like that. Why are you going along with the narrative with how he was reaching for that shoe? It's like you agreeing that he reaching for it, like, hold on, let me get this right.
Him. Reaching for the shoe, and the shoe is beneath him. Why isn't that shoe covered with blood?
And what do you think?
That's the wrong thing, bro. Like, this puzzles me. Because if you got a narrative about that, it's like you going along with the narrative. It's like you going on with the playbook, like, but you still trying to How was he trying to reach for the shoe? First of all, I know my child ain't finna do no be reaching for nobody's shoe and not finna even be crawling in no tight space like that. For one thing, so you can't never have me entertained with, yeah, you know your son reaching for this shoe, but if that shoe was right there, nah, I'm like, nah, I don't believe that at all. And then the mama gonna be up there. So the mama gonna be up there because they found the body when the mama was up there, around by 10:30. So where was the father at this whole time? Because I'm quite sure they had to wake up together early in the morning and notice the son gone. But it's just like he left after the pictures. Like they just forgot about that part. I don't know. I'm just saying allegedly. You see what I'm saying?
Think about that shoe not being covered with blood, do you?
It was placed there.
Hey,
Sheriff Prime? Hi. Victor Blackwell, CNN.
Chris Prime.
The Sheriff's Department has denied a cover-up, but we took the Johnsons' concerns to Lowndes County Sheriff Chris Prime.
I've got some questions about the Kendrick Johnson case.
I'm not going to discuss that with you.
Why not, sir?
Because our case is closed.
The family has some concerns about why some things were not taken into evidence. There was blood on the wall.
I'm not going to discuss the case with you.
So I started looking at pictures in the backgrounds and stuff. The old men and shotguns. See a truck right here. I believe they standing in front of a car. The shotgun, couple of dogs. I just can't make clear of what that picture is though, but you know. Right? Trying to get a little glimpse. Like, wait a minute, what's that over there though? Because I see some of that over there, right?
And why is that?
Because I don't want to.
Then, less than a minute after he'd invited us in,
What did you not understand that I said? I'm through talking to you.
he ushered us out.
Thank you, Sheriff Prime.
I don't believe this was an accident. I think this young man met with foul play.
The Justice Department is reviewing the pictures and the video to decide if it'll launch a federal investigation into Kendrick's death. But for Kendrick's father, the evidence is
Now, y'all see this shoe right here? But when you go to this video, watch this, gang. If you go to this video,
He wasn't moving in the smell. It smelled bad. You could smell it. The shock had, left us all, and we'd realized that.
ain't they go to shoe right there?
One of our classmates had.
So where the blood at? I told y'all pay attention to the crime scene. So you mean to tell me you got the shoe right here? I don't see no blood on that floor. But when you get through here, what happened to the tissue, the Tootsie Pop roll? See that, gang? So they done placed this shoe. Look at the flow. The flow even different. Come on, man. You see all that gloss on that flow? I don't see no spills. I don't see no spills. But on this crime scene, boom. So if you were taking the position of the shoe this way, look how you would have to be standing to take the picture. Come on, man. Hold on, but check this out. If that ain't the same shoe, but look. I need to know what size that shoe on. It look like, okay, I see what you're saying now. Boom. This shoe will be flipped over on the outside. I don't know now. I don't know. Let me look at that again. So, if it is the other shoe, now it started to look like the other shoe though. Hold on. That look like that would be the left foot. Now this would be the left foot. Man, them two left shoes. Hold on. That's on the back. Wait a minute. Let me get my mind right. That would be flipped over. So let me triangle. That would be flipped over. So that means it would be on this side there. Okay, all right, got it. Okay, I got it, gang. This got to be the left shoe. But see, look, this the left shoe. Them two left shoes flipped on the other side. No, look, bruh. There go the bottom of it. If that's the bottom of it, look. Ain't this gonna be the left shoe? And this the inside facing? That's gonna be the left shoe. Now look. Hold on. If this shoe was on the left foot, right? Listen what I'm saying. This on the left foot. I'm gonna say this on the left foot, right? But this, cause here go the bottom of the sole. If this gonna be the inside of the shoe. This gonna be what? A left shoe, right? A left shoe, right? Can we all agree with that? For the one that agree with me, this will be the left shoe then, right? Thumb me up if you believe this the left shoe. Thumb me down if you believe this the right shoe. Let's do it like that, gang. Let's do it right now. Cause I know I ain't tripping. Now, if this the left shoe, this look like the left shoe too. It just flipped over. This two left shoe, bruh. How y'all, them same shoes, bruh. I told you, bruh, them two left shoes. So you mean to tell me, oh, they done staged the shoes. That's why you don't see this Tootsie Roll wrapper around the shoe, cause the Tootsie Roll wrapper supposed to be right up here. Now I know this a left shoe. Man, it's kind of hard to tell, gang. Cause you know what? They ain't never said nothing about the second shoe. I don't believe. Let me see.
I died in our school, right beneath us.
Cause why would that shoe be over there and he reaching for this one in the mat? It don't make sense.
Look at it again.
If he was inside the mat,
crime scene, then you're going to say that's potential evidence. Obviously, we're going to check this out and find out who does it belong to.
This is an athletic gym. I mean, obviously this is where they conduct various athletic classes and instructions at.
A kid couldn't have scraped their knee or arm or something and got that much blood on the wall.
There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
You can smell it. The shock
6
head.
impacts.
The opinion of our crime scene personnel, after looking at it closely,
left
the
us
blood
on, we
appeared as it
realized
had been
that
there for an extended
one of
period
our
of time. It didn't appear to be very fresh.
School gym.
Bro, that's the same shoe. All day long.
Classmates had died in our school, right?
Damn.
We spent hours this
Hold on.
afternoon combing through that video, and the video itself.
School, right?
Inside of the shoe, bro.
Classmates had died in our school, right?
See that? Yeah.
There is no way
Beneath
that
us.
We spent
they
hours
would
this
allow
afternoon combing.
One of our classmates
whoever
had
was supposed to clean this gym
died.
to leave that blood on that wall.
And there's the question, why was there no blood where they expected to see lots of blood? Remember the photo of that shoe investigators say was inches?
That's the same shoe.
In
Look
our
at the logo on the
school,
back.
right?
You see the logo. You know what size it on now. Bro, this the left shoe.
Beneath us.
We spent
Left us all, and we'd realized that one of our classmates had died in our school, right?
Got him.
Beneath us.
We spent hours this afternoon combing.
Bro, that's the left shoe, bro. It just flipped over. It just flipped over, bro, in another position. See that? You can look at it when the camera first zoomed in on it.
Beneath us.
We
See
spent
that?
hours this afternoon combing.
Left us all, and we'd realized that one of our classmates had died in our school, right? Beneath us.
We spent hours this afternoon combing through that video, and the.
So, if I know this the left shoe now, what they
Is
talking
below
about?
Kendrick's head. Look at it again.
If he was inside the mat, reaching for that shoe, inside this tube, reaching for the shoe, and the shoe is beneath him, why isn't that shoe covered with blood?
That's what you, hold on. Is I missing something here? If that's what you gotta, bruh, if I'm looking at the picture, the first thing I'm be asking, I know my son ain't reaching down for getting nobody else shoes. If he reaching for these shoes, who threw the shoes on top of him? This a cover up all day long, bruh. Look. And let's go back to the footage again. Look at this. Man,
Shock
I can
head,
tell from right
left
here.
us all, and we'd realized that one of our
Look.
classmates had
That's the same shoe, bruh. You could tell this the inside. This the inside. That's why it's dipping on the inside. Look, it's dipping on the inside. Do you see how it's dipping on the inside? Look. You see, let's follow the line. You see that little dip right there? That's on the inside, bro. Every shoe got that. Every shoe got the dip on the inside. Look, dip. Look on the inside of your shoe, you're gonna have a dip. But on the outside of your shoe, it's gonna be, you know what I'm saying, rounded off. So, and you mean to tell me, how can you go with that theory?
Why was there no blood where they expected to see lots of blood? Remember the photo of that shoe investigators say was...
And you heard what the news reporter just said? Listen to it. This really creeping me out now. He said, why is there, well, you think where the shoe at, there has no blood, but this shoe, listen to the question.
Blood on that wall.
Listen to the question.
And there's the question, why was there no blood where they expected to see lots of blood? Remember the photo of that shoe investigators say was inches below Kendrick's head? Look at it again.
If he was...
All right, so what about this picture then?
Our school, right?
Look, you got the deal. So if you got this picture with no shoe, with no blood, right? You got this picture with no blood, and he finna show you a picture with blood. Look at the question he just asked. Real smooth with it.
Whoever was supposed to clean this gym to leave that blood on that wall.
And there's the question, why was there no blood where they expected to see lots of blood? Remember the photo of that shoe investigators say...
See that? And you don't think they know? Why this picture have where you supposed to see the blood, but you don't see the blood. So he just let you know, bruh, this shoe is not in the same place, bruh. If you flip this shoe over right now, watch this. Watch how you finna zoom in.
One of our classmates.
If you flip that shoe over right now, this way, it's gonna match up with this. What you say? His family member tried to stop people from going in the courthouse down here, y'all. What? Spill the tea. Spill the tea. We need to know some of this stuff. Two brothers. Are you talking about the two brothers? Talking about the white boy. I could believe that. But look, I want to know, do the family know this the same shoe? And keep this in mind. If they don't know, they gonna know now that these were two-stage shoes. You got one on the floor that's, you know what I'm saying, got gloss to it, and on her, like, how?
Say was inches below Kendrick's head. Look at it again.
If he was inside the mat, reaching for that shoe, inside this tube, reaching for the shoe, and the shoe is beneath him, why isn't that shoe covered with blood?
But why are you going along with that narrative in the first place? You trying to keep that narrative going. They're putting people in the dark. That's how I took that. You see what I'm saying?
And what do you think about that shoe not being covered with blood, dude?
It was placed there.
Okay.
Hey,
Sheriff Ryan?
Placed there.
Victor Blackwell, CNN.
The Sheriff's Department has denied a cover-up, but we took the Johnsons' concerns to Lowndes County Sheriff Chris Prime.
FBI, we are told that is where the father of...
Two sons of an FBI agent are describing raids on their residences in recent weeks in connection with an investigation into the death of a Valdosta high school student found rolled up in a gym mat. And their mother says they have not spoken to prosecutors, police, or the grand jury. But now they've talked to Channel 2 investigative reporter Mark Winnie. Mark live at DeKalb County with excerpts from those interviews that are new since 5. Mark.
That's right. We are live outside the Atlanta field office of the FBI. We are told that is where the father of Brian and Brandon Bell was assigned, though he worked out of Valdosta. But it was another federal agency that apparently showed up at his son's residences recently.
This is where they knocked the morning of around 5 a.m.
Now watch this. I'm finna see y'all gonna peep the game, because I really believe, man, I really believe what I believe when it comes to these people. I believe
you can
they
see
done
the scuff
it, bro.
marks from the shoes as the U.S. Marshals knocked.
I was laying in bed. I got a bang on my door.
Tactical gear?
Yes, sir, to the nth degree.
It was just like, it's about the Kendrick Johnson case, the ongoing Kendrick Johnson investigation.
Brandon Bell says what he and brother Brian Bell woke up to in 2 different rental places July 21st was worse than a bad dream. Deputy U.S. Marshals serving search warrants in connection with the mysterious death of Kendrick Johnson at Lowndes High School in 2013.
I was just really shocked.
I broke down and cried.
I really had no reason in my head why they would be here.
It just keeps on getting worse.
One might imagine Kendrick Johnson's mom feels like she's in a nightmare that won't end.
Kendrick gives me strength. You know, he was our baby. He was my son.
The Lowndes County Sheriff says after a thorough investigation, his office agrees with the state medical examiner that Johnson's death was an accident due to positional asphyxia, that he wedged himself in a rolled-up gym mat trying to reach a shoe and could not get out.
I would imagine practically every one of your viewers sat scratching their head.
And a lawsuit.
Now, why nobody ain't talking about that shoe then? Because they just gave the police up. They just showed you that the police staged the crime scene. And they kept the mama out that area, and they was staging a crime scene. Because the student said, listen to what the lady said. The student said, we saw him, his feet were dangling out the mat. But the crime scene photo gonna show y'all he pushed inside the mat. But if you go with the college, if you go with the kids, go with the kids said. The kids said, man, look, we see this foot dangling out and the smell was awful. So in that case, if the school done let out, school done got out around about 2 or 3 o'clock, whatever. But they have basketball practice. And nobody didn't see no body girl with feet dangling out the mat. Come on, man. Why nobody ain't paid the kids? The kids, look. The first thing them kids finna tell you what they saw, bro. Man, them kids ain't got nothing to lie about, bro. Them kids, they said they saw that man. When you go back to the footage, only thing you just gotta do is identify. Oh, you don't know who had those shoes on? Let's go back to the footage. And the footage finna narrate everybody down they got on those same pair of shoes. So, keep this in mind. He in the gym. And then, if you got basketball practice in there, everybody finna, some people might finna change shoes. Look what the kids said. Who would be in the gym throwing their shoe in the mat? The people that come in the gym. It ain't like people just throwing there just for stories. I'll come back tomorrow and get them John. No, you finna go practice, you finna hide your shoes, and you finna keep on the lookout. Everybody finna be looking out, make sure ain't nobody stealing no shoes. You see what I'm saying? Now, if you keep going along with the police narrative, you would constantly be saying, look, this and that and this. No, bro, listen to what I said. Check this out. Boom.
Suit by Johnson's parents alleges a group including the Bell brothers, sons of an FBI agent, violently assaulted their son, leading to his death.
My only angle is to find justice for my son.
But the Bells' civil attorneys, Patrick O'Connor and Bryce Ladson, say the July 21st search warrants sought text messages, emails, and the like relevant to alleged witness tampering and obstruction of justice.
Is it possible you were involved in any witness tampering or obstruction?
No, sir. In no possible way whatsoever.
Have you obstructed justice in any way?
No.
Have you tampered with any witnesses? Tried to influence anybody, tried to stop somebody from talking in the Kendrick Johnson investigation?
No.
Where our viewers can look in your eyes, did you have anything to do with the death of Kendrick Johnson?
No, sir. Nor me or my family had anything to do with his death.
Both Bells maintain they have rock-solid alibis.
Where were you?
I was in class.
Videos, pictures, and theories abound online about what happened, some involving school surveillance video. We talked to Brandon Bell about his appearance.
I was changing clothes before I had to leave for the wrestling tournament that we were going to. And I went in there to check my weight the first time.
See that? He just told everybody he would change his clothes, so he'd probably be the one that left his sweater behind.
I changed, and then the shirt that was assumed to have blood on it, that they had circled and said blood, it actually said RLX. It's a type of polo.
How does it feel to get yours?
Oh, you see how they threw it off? Look, that ain't the same shirt the investigator showed y'all. Look.
It actually said.
Look. Let's go back to where I'm at. Look, y'all see this shirt right here? Look at the crime scene again.
Sheriff Chris Prime.
Got some questions about the
Be very fresh.
School gym. There is no way that they would allow whoever was supposed to clean this gym to leave
where that shirt at?
Wall.
And there's the question, why was there no blood?
And then the question is,
you see that? Here go the sweater. Here go the sweater. Now y'all see how they manipulated it real quick? Look.
was it blood? Did you test it?
According to the crime lab report, no.
What?
And then the shirt that was assumed to have blood on it, that they had circled and said blood, it actually said R.
Oh man, these folks sold you a totally nutty shirt.
RLX. It's a type of polo.
Wait a minute.
I changed, and then the shirt that was assumed to have blood on it, that they had circled and said blood, it actually said RLX. It's a type of polo.
Yeah, Lee.
How's it feel to get your side out?
Great. Because I finally, we've just been sitting here, not just letting everybody else talk. You know, it's our time to talk.
Now, a March 2013.
And then that's a different brand of shirt. That's the cold part about it. That was a different brand of shirt. And look where they reporting this from, the FBI quarter, the same sons. Now you see, look. Man, they got away with this one, bro.
Document in the file suggests an attorney told the sheriff's office that after consulting with the father of Brian and Brandon Bell, he advised them not to make a statement. We are posting extensive raw video at WSB TV.
When you get Zaxx Packs on game day, you don't just get 20 of our famous fingers. You get crinkle-cut fries.
Now, a Channel 2 Action News investigation into the mystery surrounding the death of a Valdosta teenager found in an upright gym mat at school. Two young men at the focus of the Kendrick Johnson controversy have declined to talk to investigators, a grand jury, and an on-camera interview until now. Channel 2 investigative reporter Mark Winnie live outside FBI headquarters in DeKalb County with these exclusive interviews. Mark?
And at last check, this case remained a focus of federal investigation. But we are outside the FBI's Atlanta field office because that is where we're told Agent Rick Bell was assigned, and both his sons are the subject of target letters from a federal prosecutor. And now we hear from them at last.
I'm going to ask my photographer to push in tight on your face.
Okay.
Our viewers can read your expression. Did you have anything to do with the death of Kendrick Johnson?
No. He was like one of my good friends.
Even at the time of his death?
Even at the time of his death.
You know, every word we broadcast of this is going to be scrutinized by the blogosphere, the Twitter sphere, and so on.
Yes, sir. It should be. And I want everybody to know the truth. And I mean, they can ridicule me and they can say whatever they want, but in the end, the truth will prevail. And everybody will find that me and my brother have been innocent and always will be innocent.
We've just heard what family attorneys acknowledge. Sheriff's deputies, the GBI, and a federal grand jury have not heard. Brothers Brian and Brandon Bell answering questions, no holds barred, about the mysterious death of Kendrick Johnson in 2013.
He was the laughter of our house. He was the joy of our house, and he gives us strength to keep fighting.
The Lowndes County Sheriff says after a thorough investigation, his office agrees with the state medical examiner that Johnson's death was an accident due to positional asphyxia, that he wedged himself in a rolled-up gym mat trying to reach a shoe and could not get out.
Now we just found where the shoe will be at with the blood on it. So they grabbed the shoe, brought it over here, and placed it where some blood would be at. You see that? We just seen the photo. I said, man, y'all better pay attention to the crime scene of the photo, because if you don't, you will still be asking questions, be talking about how this and how this. They done grabbed the shoe that was in front of the mat, brought it over here, where it's gonna be blood at, and this where the blood gonna be on the wall too. So something was going on right here in that corner, and they covered the mat. If you ask me, who finna jump on top of this mat just to dive down here to go pick up a shoe?
But Kendrick Johnson's mom takes issue with that.
Are you more convinced today than ever that KJ...
What? They had a... Boy, you said what now? They had a fight weeks up before Kendrick beating. Oh, I remember that. Yeah, I remember he supposed to been got to fighting with them dudes before. I do remember that.
Jay was the victim of foul play.
Yes.
And with some of what the Bells say.
No, they weren't friends.
And in a lawsuit, Johnson's parents allege a group, including the Bell brothers, sons of an FBI agent, violently assaulted their son, leading to his death.
None of the allegations that were made were without research.
But both Bells maintain they have rock-solid alibis.
Did you see Kendrick Johnson?
No, sir, not at any point during that day.
Where were you?
I was in class. First block, second block, third block, and fourth block.
Close to the gym?
No.
Did you see Kendrick that day?
No.
But you got news articles saying, look, he supposed to be in class, but his brother supposed to be going on a football trip. I guess to a football game. Right, gang? I ain't never known nobody to have football during school hours. You see all these lies, and lies. Why ain't she know? If you would have had a football game, don't you would have seen cheerleaders walking the hall in their uniform? You see what I'm saying? You would see somebody at least have their helmet walking around. Are they jersey walking around the school? Mm-hmm.
I did not.
The suit suggests the brothers sought revenge for a brief fight between Brian and Kendrick on a team bus.
A year before, I mean,
What was
we're
that
still
about,
friends.
anyway?
So I can't even remember. I mean, it was so small to us, like it was ridiculous.
Your brother had a football scholarship offered to FSU.
Yes, sir, he did.
They pulled it back.
On signing day.
So how low did you get?
To the lowest you can go.
Letters from the Macon U.S. Attorney's Office suggest both Bells are targets of grand jury investigation.
So I bet you they caught him, and this is what you would do. Everybody know if you finna fight somebody, y'all finna meet in the gym. In the gym or in the bathroom. That's what we were doing. Then they over there in the corner, so they can't be seen fighting. So look. So you would see a fight over there. It would be a couple of students that would see a fight, went back and told everybody it was a fight. And next thing you know, the principal covered it up because the dad, they know who their dad is, so their daddy got involved. You know they had to call their daddy. You see what I'm saying? And his daddy got to take over. And he got high ranking. So all these lies they told. So this is what I'm thinking. They cover up the murder. But after the fact, by them taking the organs, you gotta think about it. Was he a plan like that? Like, look, I tell you what, if he mess with y'all again, you go back up there to school and you get him a good whooping. Once you get him a good whooping, that's when I'm gonna bring the guys and then we're gonna cover up for these crime scenes. We're gonna teach them about messing with our kind. You see what I'm saying? And then got the dash to sell the man organs after the fact. Did y'all see the photo? The man was clearly face was swollen, bro. Gang day, no pep rally either, wasn't in the gym. Come on, bro. Don't forget about the pep rally. See, they had the mindset where they want to go with it, but the footage ain't gonna support it. I'm gonna go with them. I'm gonna go with the kids say they seen the man. A fault broke out. School gonna be closed down when everybody leave the school. Just say the police gonna be there covering up the crime scene. You see what I'm saying? Cause they can't even show you where the basketball practice was. So you mean tell me you got basketball practice and why you don't see the people that's playing football come back and get off the school bus, come back in the gym or what? None of that. Not even the dramas, major reds. Come on, y'all. So now look, I'm telling you exactly they did. It's only one. They found 2 shoes with the other, without the other pair to it. They got the Air Force One with the blood stains on it, but they can't find that shoe. They found the Adidas shoe, but can't find the other shoe. They can't find the other shoe. So what the police did, they tried to take pictures of the same shoe in different locations. So that means whoever left that gym damn near had 1 shoe on, and it's going to be 2 people. It's going to be 2 people. So you can might as well say this a hate crime. And when they tamper with that man organs, man, they sold that man organs after the fact. But now let's get back to the family. Man, it's kind of strange that the family ain't really just trying to expose the cover up, because I just saw this with my own eyes. That's the same pair of shoe in 2 different locations. Just like Kenneka's shoe. She had 1 shoe on and 1 shoe off. She would have died from asphyxiation, just like they said in the beginning of Kenneka's death. Asphyxiation. Now, I tried to find Kendrick Johnson daddy, because I could have sworn I seen that man in some Masonic outfit. Masonic outfit, because I know I found Trayvon Martin daddy in some. Now, I don't know if they got anything to do with this, but it would make them look guilty if you going along with the police narrative and stirring it up. You see that? Then they got shirts and evidence with blood and stains on it. And then you got this dude on the news showing a complete another shirt, a different brand. About this the shirt, this the shirt right here. Man, that's a parody. It's a parody. I would be furious at that. I would have had to call them out on that. Everything what I just saw, I would have called them folks out on it, bro. You see what I'm saying? Something not right with this picture, bro. But you want to know why something not right with this picture? Cause look, the funeral home that did the autopsy, one on permanent closed and the other one moved to another state. First they said the funeral home doing the autopsy, then the medical examiner office like, nah, we did the autopsy. Hold on, let me show y'all this. This the crazy part. Come on, man. Damn.
Shit, you see what I do.
But look.
You have to stand your ground.
It's Kendrick Johnson, mama, and that's Trayvon Martin, mama. Now, I ain't saying ain't nothing wrong with this. You know what I'm saying? But I just want y'all to see this stuff.
There are going to be some people that don't want you to be strong and don't want you to lift your head up and don't want you to get answers. But you just keep holding on to your faith in God. You just keep holding on to your strength, and God will see you through. He will make you even stronger as the day gets longer. He will make your mind just want to look for answers to find out what happened to your child. It's not going to go away. And I want you to know that you're going to have some bad days. And on those.
Y'all remember on that Just 33 King video? When that girl was earning out Miss Teresa, she said, yeah. Teresa thought she was going to be Trayvon Martin mama. She thought she was going to be like Kendrick Johnson them and Trayvon Martin them mama. So I'm like, what did these people know that we don't know? Even Gina McGill said she was a private investigator And she wrote a book about the Trayvon Martin case, accessory to murder after the fact. Remember that? She even wrote a book about it. She wrote a book about the Kenneka Jenkins. And if you look at her catalog, she got several books that this lady be writing. So,
bad days, you find your Bible, you find somebody that's positive in your family or one of your friends, and you just lean on that person because God is going to pull you through, and that's all you need.
This is the reason why I've canceled.
Now look, when you go to Trayvon Martin, now look how he was fatally shot in Florida in the Miami Gardens, right? Miami Gardens. Now, if you look at Kendrick Johnson case, you got the feds cover this up, you got the police cover this up. Then you got two boys that's linked back to the feds, so you know the feds involved in this, right? I don't know if the family got something to do with this, but I'm going to side-eye them for right now, cause I don't know, bro. Cause if I'm finding out, cause it's like the lawyer supposed to find this. If you had private investigators, they supposed to be the first thing they supposed to pinpoint out is their shoe in different locations. To me, on everything. Cause when I told y'all what I learned for the Kenneka Jenkins case, I can go back to the old cases and look with the fresh eyes and see all the flaws in it. You see how they did it on the news? Switched it up about the shirt? You see that? And then look. So we know that's dealing with police cover up with the feds, and I'm siding out the family. Now if you go back to the Martin family, this kind of hit different for me because his daddy is a Freemason and he is a high-ranking member of the Masonry. And if you go back and listen to the calls and the audio, what he said, first he told the police that's his son screaming. Then he recounted his story and said he don't believe that's his son screaming. And he switched his story up. Then make it so bad, he even had a girl that was telling everybody Trayvon Martin was my boyfriend. And I was last on the phone with Trayvon Martin when he got shot. And coming to find out, that was a whole lie. And the daddy put her up to that. You see what I'm saying? If you know Trayvon Martin, the man just moved in with his daddy in Florida. Look how long he just made it to his daddy. I don't even think he was there for a week. So look, he go to the store and go get some candy. Right? Watch this. He visit his father, fiance, and their house in their townhouse. Check this out. On the evening, 26. Hold on. Martin was walking back to the fiance house of the nearby convenience store. Zimmerman, a member of the watch community. Keep this in mind. Y'all just don't know how the watch community really works. I came from a hood that had watch community in it, bro. It be them old folks looking out their window, bro, and they see anything going on, they calling the police. That's why why you think if you end up walking in a white neighborhood and the police just all of a sudden just Hey, what you doing over here? Yeah, we got a call. Man, these 9 10 out of 10, these calls coming from the watch community. Ain't this the same watch community that guy Ahmaud Arbery called up? Cause of they watch community in the neighborhood. When they go to Elijah, it's dealing with community watch neighborhoods, bruh. It's the same playbook. It's the same thing. If it ain't dealing with the community watch, it's gonna be crooked police officers. You don't see how they working all together, bro? Then they got groups, Facebook groups. All of them men sharing their thoughts. Yeah, we saw him today. But if he come back over here, we know what we need to do. Now look. He saw Martin and reported him to San Francisco. Now, if he was a part of the watch community, he already know where he going. He already know where he don't stay over here. What is he doing over here? Right? Check this out. It's the crazy part. Several minutes, he reported him to the police department as a suspicious person that's walking in the rain with his hoodie on. Several minutes later, an altercation happened and the shot the man in the chest. Zimmerman was injured during the altercation with Martin. He said he shot him in self-defense and was not charged at the time. The police said there is no evidence to refute his claim of self-defense. All right, boom. Make a long story short, y'all know the man got acquitted on these charges. Now, did you know that Zimmerman is a high-ranking Mason? And don't you know his daddy is a high-ranking Mason? Keep that in mind. The following Martin death, the rally, hold on, I don't even want to read that. He was born in Miami. Tracy and then Sabrina Fulton, they divorced and all that. Let's see when he went back after the divorce. He married and then 2000 and all that. Boom, boom, boom. About 9 years old, he pulled his father. He was symbolized of burning his legs and his father probably saving his life. Martin enjoyed sports video game. He watched cars, babysit, cook, grab, blah, blah, blah. Now lived Martin attend to North Miller High School in Dade County where he attended in the Miami Garden. Hold on. He was a junior. Hold up. He had been like, bro, I want to see Martin had wanted for repair airline. Later in the teen, I want to go digital footprint. Over a period of months, according to Miami Herald, Martin tweeted his last message 2 days before he was shot. According to the digital footprint, portrayed him as having a sense of humor with girls and sometimes used profanity and obscene languages. That's in a teenager and discuss sex in his tweet. Like, that's really something. He also enjoyed making trips about street culture, YouTube, Friday nights out of rap music and all this, you know what I'm talking about. So everybody trying to look at his tattoos and trying to label him as a gang member. Facebook account were hacked by white supremacists and select tweet from his account and put, see, his account was hacked. His email and Facebook account were hacked by a white supremacist group. Look, that's what I said. That's why he went to visit his daddy, because he got in trouble, right? Because look, when he went to his daddy, because he got in trouble. But when he went to his daddy, he wasn't there that long. That's what I'm saying. He wasn't there that long for the man was shot and killed. I'm trying to find the date when he actually arrived at his daddy's house. So look, so they hacked the man's Twitter account and pictures of Martin being adjusted on his face. Look, I remember that. So check this out. At the police department, y'all don't remember this? They had gun ranges with his poster. They had a poster of Trayvon Martin, and the police was using it for target practice. They were using it for target practice, the police station. So he even had scholarships, opportunity, and everything. So they granted so in the Zimmerman trial, they accessed his cell phone with his post, Facebook, Twitter account, and saying the defense team need to be able to review the evidence of the valid. So what all this Facebook and all this phone? Well, I know why his phone gonna play a role in there. But why his Twitter and Facebook account? Because they just trying to use his Facebook and Twitter account just to, you know what I'm saying, to keep that narrative going. He ain't nothing but a thug and always talking about weed and all this old stuff. So some of the cell phone text that the defense wanted to show that Martin had he texted about his fight, marijuana use, with guns, and had described himself as a gangster. You see that? He wore gold teeth and all of this stuff, and the judge eventually ruled that my social media posts would not be mentioned during the trial because it don't make no sense why it to be mentioned in trial. So friends of mine who had known him at Highland Court Middle School, Kenrick Court, responded with him over the Twitter. I don't want to listen to all that. I'm trying to, okay. And Florida Bill McCrum. Now I want to read when he first got there though. Oh look, yeah, how many times he won the lottery? You feel? Zimmerman got to be a cold person. Jason Martin said he took his son to Stanford to be disconnected with the primordial strait. Martin has been in the twin several times before with his father and sometimes played football with the kids in the neighborhood. So he ain't even no stranger. On the night of the shooting, Tracy was out dinnering with his fiancee, Brandy Green, while Tracy and Green's son stayed home, watching TV, playing video games. Trayvon went out, walked to a local 7-Eleven where he bought Skittles, candy, and the Arizona watermelon drink. Now, when you read this first part of the shooting, just think about McClain's story. Hold on, when you go to the McClain story, I gotta go to McClain. If you go to his story, they all read the same. Male. You know what I'm saying? Wearing the ski mask, and you know the caller that called him did not believe the person was on, but believed the person, someone would be immediate. He said he did not know. He said he was not on, and that he did not believe that anyone was in immediate danger. The friend McClain interviewed after the incident speculated that this armed flailing was almost like dancing. And he is believed to have been listening to music at the time of the call. Watch this. According to the police, he he was resisting when he was confronted by the police officer. Because he just came from the store buying candy. Just like Trayvon Martin. So the daddy gonna be out. So Trayvon Martin was 5'11", so he a little tall, 150. Zimmerman, I wanna know how tall Zimmerman is. Zimmerman. So he got to be taller than Zimmerman then. So Zimmerman called the police, said he looked suspicious, and the altercation happened, and he shot him in self-defense. And the victim was charged in his death, but he beat the case, right? So why do y'all want to know what else is missing on her? Guess what else is missing? Because look what time his daddy reported him missing. His daddy came home, noticed he wasn't there, decided to call in the morning. How? And you had to come home to a heavy police presence. How y'all? Look how long his body would be in the yard before they came to get the body. You see this? Now, I need to find out what time he called the police. But they just got the aftermath after that. So, boom. Here go the call. Watch this.
Breaking news at 6. Trayvon Martin's father called 911 hours after his son was killed, worried about what might have happened to him.
How old is your son?
He's 17.
Okay, what's his name?
Trayvon Martin, TrayVonMartin.
NBC News reports Tracy Martin made that call to Sanford police the morning after Trayvon was shot. West 2's Amanda Ober joining us live right now with the breaking details. And Amanda, he wanted to file a missing person report.
These 911 calls that were obtained by NBC News were made 12 hours after Trayvon was shot and killed.
12 hours. 12 hours. Digital footprint. I'm trying to see what exactly time he was shot. I gotta find out what exactly time he was shot. Let's go back to the video.
It's sadly obvious as you listen that Trayvon's dad has no idea the terrible news he will soon get. And as you're about to hear, he's worried because his son hasn't come home and he wants to file a missing persons report.
In the police recordings, we hear Trayvon Martin's father, Tracy Martin, call Sanford police the morning after his son was shot and killed. Tracy Martin clearly does not yet know what has happened to Trayvon.
I also need to file a missing person report because it hasn't really been 24 hours.
Sounds like, why would he say, watch this? I don't know if I need to file a missing person because it ain't been 24 hours yet, but
I'm from Miami, and my son's up here with me, and he left. I'm in Sanford. He don't know anybody up here.
And you said it was your son that's missing?
Yes.
And you said, how long has he been missing for?
Since last night.
How old is your son?
He's 17.
Okay, what's his name?
Trayvon Martin.
The call was made at 8:39 a.m. the morning.
all right, 8:39. So we got to knock 12 hours off that. 7:39, 6:49, 5:49, 4:49, 3:29, 1:29. You know what I'm talking about? 12:29. Man, bro, they gonna go back to 10, 9. They go round about 6:30 to 7. So if they go around about 6:30 to 7, y'all know, man, it would be impossible for him to come home and then see all these polices around conducting the crime scene. And the minute that he would have told these folks Trayvon Martin missing person, at this point they already gonna identify him by his ID on the scene.
After the shooting, Tracey Martin tells the dispatcher he hasn't seen or heard from his son since 8 or 8:30 the night before. He describes what Trayvon was wearing.
So he said he last talked to him round about this time. Round about this time, bro. So that means he confirmed it. He just had to be talking with his son round about this time before he left the store. And once you go to this, where they said hold on, that his daddy was out on a date. Where is it? I can't find it now.
The police called Tracey Martin back sometime later asking for details about his son, including his race and whether he has a driver's license.
The officer's already on the way. I just want to get a little further in case, while they're on the way they might spot him so we can let him know.
Now, at this point, Trayvon's body had already been recovered from the scene of the shooting the night before, but it had not yet been identified.
Oh, that's a lie. If you would have pulled in the apartment, you would have known that you got people outside. People would have saw something.
Amanda Ober reporting WESH 2 News.
You probably know Vistaprint for business cards. Yep. But did you know we also print these and those?
What's up, y'all? Now I want y'all, I'm gonna find that video. Oh, here you go, right here. Here you go, gang. Now listen to this.
I'm sorry? I let him listen.
Y'all, this so crazy. Listen to what he finna say about Trayvon daddy.
First, before I asked anything. Okay, and what did you ask him? I believe my words were, is that your son's voice in the background? Or I think I said a little differently than that, but I inquired as if that was, in fact, his son yelling for help. And what was his response? It was more of a verbal and nonverbal. He looked away and under his breath, as I interpreted, said no.
Okay. And I think you asked him something to the effect, do you recognize the voice? Or do I have it right, or am I misstating what you said?
It was either you recognize the voice or is that your son's voice in the background?
Okay. And as this was going on, when you specifically asked him that, I think you described Mr. Martin and his head was down, correct?
It was more like looking away from me and the computer.
Like he didn't even want to deal with it. Is that how you interpreted it?
Yes, sir.
So what that mean? So what that mean?
And then you stated that it was under his breath, I gather, right? Did I get that right?
Yes, sir.
And you interpreted it as he said no, correct?
Yes, sir.
I mean, you didn't flat out hear the word no unequivocally, or did you hear it like something under his breath and he was distraught?
I heard it and saw the movement of his mouth.
Okay, so you believe, your opinion is that he said no?
Yes, sir, it is.
And do you recall what it was that you heard Officer Serino ask Mr. Martin after playing the loud 911 call?
If you recognize the voice.
Okay. Again, do you have the exact words, or you remember?
I don't know if those were exact words, but that was the question, if you had recognized the voice.
Okay, and Mr. Martin's response?
Was that it was not his son.
I think earlier you said that he actually put his head down or something.
Yes, and he was crying, and he was sad. He had his head down, and he was wiping his face with tissues. His girlfriend was behind him, trying to comfort him. She was kind of rubbing his shoulder some.
You recall actually Tracy Martin saying that was not his voice, that it's not his son's voice?
Yes.
Okay. And you clearly heard him say those words?
I don't know his exact words, but he was telling us that it was not his, or he was telling Chris that it was not his son's voice that was screaming for help.
I mean, he said words, in other words, like you're saying?
Yes.
Okay. And you clearly heard him say those words?
I don't know his exact words, but he was telling us that it was not his, or he was telling Chris that it was not his son's voice that was screaming for help.
I mean, he said words, in other words, like you're saying?
Yes.
Okay. And then after that, he put his head down, is what you're saying?
I think it was even while listening to it
Okay.
that he was already crying, because you could hear the gunshot.
And so, obviously, you were sensitive of that, too, the fact that they were playing this recording to the father of the person that's being shot on the tape, correct?
Yes, I was choked up myself. I had to stand back, and I felt, I could feel how he must feel.
Anderson Cooper 360, weeknights at...
Is it Trayvon Martin, or is it neighborhood watchman George Zimmerman, the man accused of murdering him?
So you think he's yelling help?
Yes.
All right, what is your...
After a...
Now look, I knew that was him screaming. Come on, y'all. If you heard Zimmerman talk, look.
Single gunshot is heard on the tape. The screaming suddenly stops.
I don't hear him yelling anymore. Do you hear anything?
No, I don't, because I'm hiding upstairs. There was a gunshot right outside our house.
That's why prosecutors insist those screams came from a desperate, unarmed teenager fighting for his life. They are leaning on experts like this.
I had an exemplar of George Zimmerman from his reenactment. The screams don't match at all. So that's what tells me that, okay, it's not George Zimmerman of the screams that I present.
I told you, bruh. It's cause look, I know that's his scream, but why his daddy? Look, if you heard what the investigators, man, they asked investigators when you asked him his daddy, what did daddy say? He said, That wasn't his son. How he was, what his mood was like when he was saying it, like he just didn't really want to be there. He didn't want to deal with it. You just heard that. Look how this man sitting on the bench and they talking about it, that's his son screaming.
But the defense says the state's expert is relying on unproven science. Instead, defense attorneys point to the testimony of an FBI speech scientist who told the court that with current technology, it's just not possible to determine whether the voice on the tape belongs to.
The cold part about it, man, the daddy had to go along with, that ain't my son screaming. That's how he got off. That's how he got off, bruh. Because a part of that little testimony right there, because that played a big role. They were fighting this over trial. Who voice that is? This gonna be the aggressor. Who the voice? So Zimmerman said that was him screaming. He said Zimmerman said he was screaming because Trayvon was attacking him. Look, I told y'all that Zimmerman daddy is a Mason judge. Look, I know I know his daddy was a judge. I ain't know his daddy was a Mason, but I know Zimmerman is a Mason. So you got two high-ranking Freemasons in here. So it makes me think that y'all remember when I told y'all, I said, man, look, if you got kids, right, and your kids ain't obeying your rules or your spiritual belief, they'll sacrifice you, bro. You don't think it could be possibility that man called his Masonic brothers? You see what I'm saying? This how one thing I did study about the cults. If you come from a cult family, brother, if you ain't bad by them rules, bro, them folk finna sacrifice you, bro. You know what I'm saying? If he kept getting in trouble, you know what I'm saying? And you amazing. And if you look at Mason, they doing God gift by sacrificing him. You see what I'm saying?
Trayvon Martin or George Zimmerman. The speech scientist said with just 3 seconds of uninterrupted screaming on that 911 call, there is no way to know for sure.
We determined that screaming was not normal. It was pretty much uttered by someone who was facing probably imminent threat of death or something. Very difficult to analyze.
Still, the neighbor who made the 911 call told AC360 she believes it was Trayvon Martin screaming for help that night.
I definitely could tell that it was a younger, youthful voice than it was the deep voice that I heard when they were arguing, and I heard them outside my window.
Trayvon's mother also told us she has no doubt the screams came from her son.
People can say anything they want to. I just personally don't believe it. I know that it was my son that was crying out for help.
But
now you see that? If the mother know that, why the father denying that? But keep this in mind, they ain't even together no more, so you know he got a fiance, right? Come on, gang, y'all don't see this?
George Zimmerman's father testified the screams belonged to his son.
Were you able to identify whose voice it was screaming for help?
Yes, sir.
And whose was it?
It was absolutely George's.
And it's not the...
What? Look, and you mean to tell me you got the man daddy said, look, this my son voice. Man, you supposed to be the father. You supposed to be on that stand. That's my son voice. But look, we got to go over this whole crime scene. Now, this is where they going to be at. Don't y'all know what the witnesses said? They said they saw Zimmerman on top of him. He was the aggressor and he was the one that was on top.
The only phone call from that night that has stirred up controversy. Last year, it was Zimmerman's call to 911. At issue, Zimmerman was accused of using the F word, followed by the word coons when talking about Trayvon Martin to the dispatch operator. Listen.
Okay. Which entrance is that he's heading towards?
The back entrance.
Audio expert Tom Owen's conclusion, Zimmerman actually used the word punks. Listen again. That bit of the call only lasted about 1.6 seconds, but the controversy still lingers.
Trayvon Martin was not profiled because he was black. George is not a racist.
He may not be a racist, but a jury will soon decide if George Zimmerman is a murderer.
February 26, 2012, 17-year-old Trayvon Martin is staying at his father's Sanford home, visiting from South Florida. That night, he walks to a nearby convenience store, and when he gets back to his father's gated community, he and George Zimmerman make contact.
Are you following him?
Yeah.
Okay, we don't need you to do that.
Okay.
The investigation would show George Zimmerman followed an unarmed Trayvon, at least briefly, and that there was an altercation between them.
Is it a male or female?
It sounds like a male.
And you don't know why?
I don't know why. I think they're yelling help, but I don't know. Just send someone quick. Say stop.
Okay. Does he look hurt to you?
I can't see him. I don't want to go out there. I don't know what's going on.
So you think he's yelling help?
Yes.
Your phone number.
There's gunshots.
You just heard gunshots?
Yes.
How many?
This one.
Zimmerman told police the teen took him to the ground and he was being beaten.
Getting his nose just about broken. We've seen the picture.
Attorney Mark O'Mara defended George Zimmerman at trial.
You're allowed to defend yourself, even including deadly force.
It was because Zimmerman claimed self-defense that he wasn't immediately arrested. When an arrest didn't come right away, there were demonstrations demanding justice locally and around the country.
And it's just difficult for us right now because we don't understand why he has not been arrested.
More than a month later, with a Jacksonville prosecutor assigned to the case, Zimmerman was arrested. A year later, a jury acquits George Zimmerman after his attorneys successfully argued self-defense at trial.
We, the jury, find George Zimmerman.
And y'all look, that's how he got off. All because his daddy told everybody he don't believe that's his son that was screaming. So that's why his daddy jumped on the scene and said, that's my son screaming. That's why they just said this.
Has not been arrested.
More than a month later, with a Jacksonville prosecutor assigned to the case, Zimmerman was arrested. A year later, a jury acquits George Zimmerman after his attorneys successfully argued self-defense at trial.
We, the jury, find George Zimmerman not guilty.
It worked the way it was supposed to. It was a proper verdict.
We understand that the system has failed us as black and brown youth, as people who face oppression.
Everybody should be forgiven, but we should never forget what happened.
Everything that was supposed to happen to get this case to a jury happened. And it happened with everybody looking at it.
O'Mara says the early criticism of the Sanford Police Department, particularly the decision not to arrest right away, was misplaced.
They did a lot of challenge interviews. They did a lot of forensics. They did a lot of workup on investigators. They talked to dozens and dozens of witnesses and did it well.
By the time O'Mara joined the case, there was already a high level of community frustration. So why take it?
Without thinking about it, I said, it's what we do.
O'Mara says he hasn't spoken with George Zimmerman in years. Trayvon Martin's parents went on to create the Trayvon Martin Foundation. It's a website saying it is committed to bringing awareness to ending senseless gun violence.
We understand that it's not going to be done overnight, that it's going to take time to do this, but we're in it for the long haul. We're in it. This is a part of my life now.
Dave McDaniel, West 2 News.
Since your brother's death, have you had an opportunity to hear a tape that contains screaming and a gunshot?
Yes.
Can you estimate for the members of the jury approximately how many times you've heard that tape?
Anywhere between 10 to 15 times.
And how have you heard it? Have you heard it On a computer, on TV, on the internet, or what?
I've heard it from a computer and from TV.
And do you recognize any voices on that tape?
Yes.
Whose voice do you recognize?
My brother.
Trayvon's?
Yes.
What parts of the recording do you recognize as your brother's voice?
The yelling and the screaming.
Had you ever heard Trayvon Martin yell or scream as the two of you were growing up?
I've heard him yell, but not like that, but yes.
Your Honor, that's all I have. Thank you.
Thank you, Cross.
Obviously, you heard those calls, and I know because you mentioned the cries for help. When you heard those calls and those cries for help, who did you hear crying for help?
I'm not sure. Honestly, I really haven't even listened to them that good. So, like, I've heard it, but I mean, I would think it was my brother, but I'm not completely positive that that's him.
You actually were not as certain that it was your brother's voice when you first heard it, though, correct?
Correct.
You said that, honestly, really haven't listened to it. I've heard it. I would think it was my brother, but I'm not completely positive. Correct?
Mm-hmm.
You'll have to answer out loud.
Yes.
And from having listened to it, it was your thought that it might be Trayvon, correct?
When we heard it in the mayor's office, how do I explain it? I guess I didn't want to believe that it was him. So that's why during that interview, I said I wasn't sure. I guess it was, listening to it was clouded by shock and denial and sadness. I didn't really want to believe.
Hate YouTube ads? You need this Chrome extension. I feel like I just found a Google cheat code. This Chrome extension lets you block ads.
I'm gonna be the kid. What the is your problem? You say what you said.
I don't have a problem.
Yeah, at that point, nothing else was said. Think. What did you say the first time he hit you? There was no conversation prior. Okay, we're good. Open up your eyes. Nothing at all.
That's George Zimmerman right there talking to police, and it's very important to this case, you think, for both sides to talk about who was the aggressor in the conflict between him and Trayvon Martin. I'm here with veteran defense investigator Charles Middlestat, and let's go through some of the evidence that will come into this trial about that. You know, Charles, let's start first with this police interview. This is George Zimmerman right here talking about the smothering incident that went on. Let's take a look.
Prior to you shooting him, he was on you, correct? Yes. Okay. And you were able to reach into your holster? Yes. Okay. You shot him at point blank range. He was on top of you, right? Yes. Okay. And with all that yelling, nobody came out to help you. And I can't pinpoint where you were smothered. That's the problem that I'm having. And nobody's saying they saw him smothering you. People were saying they saw you on top of you, but they didn't see about the smothering part.
Okay, so that's 3 days after the confrontation. What do you make of that as a defense investigator? Does it tell you anything about who was the aggressor?
Well, you know, what Serino's looking for is to try to determine the consistency of Zimmerman's statement. At this point, unfortunately, the only statement that we have to go on is Zimmerman's. Unfortunately, Trayvon's not here to give his side of this, this event. And so what you're looking for is either consistency or inconsistency. So Serino's, exploring all of this. And what he has at this point is he has Zimmerman's statement and some other lay witness statements. Nobody really had a good perspective on this thing. And so, that's really all you can do at this point is try to see if things are lining up with what his version is.
All right, that's the key, because his version is the only version they have at this point. Now let's take a map of the neighborhood right here. And as we look at this, I want you to tell me what you see in all of this. I'm going to use Zimmerman. Let's take it from the point of where he gets right here. This is inside the complex, right? He says at one point, Trayvon Martin, they both came from this route, and Trayvon Martin's coming
Now listen, y'all, check this out. If he coming from the store, right? Look, need to go to Google Map and see where the grocery store is. But 9 times out of 10, it look like it's one way in. So if you pull in, right? Look, he stopped right here. And keep this in mind. This word gonna have to happen there, cause this look like the layout right here. So if you look at the distance, right? If you look at the distance and all the evidence, watch how messed up this sound.
Coming this way, at one point he goes this way, comes back, circles the car, right? And then goes down this area. I'm not the greatest artist.
So boom. So when he got out of his car, when the dispatcher is you chasing him? So boom, so he was running up and catching up with him. So when he caught up with him, that's when he confront him. Now you got to add the minutes. Now this word time finna come in there, right? So now you finna get the time of the 911 call and what the witness gonna claim what they saw too. So watch this, gang.
But I'm giving you a rough representation of this. Now, Zimmerman at one point, Charles, says he comes back this way to figure out where he is, what street he's on to tell police, comes back this way, and Trayvon Martin, according to Zimmerman, circles back up. So there's a couple questions here, but I want to get your take. As a defense investigator,
So Trayvon Martin went down here, came back up. Now they had to meet somewhere right over here. Cause the last time I checked, I think it happened down here or something. But they still gonna be like in the back of the walkway. So let me pinpoint where actually they was at with the scuffle, because I believe it was down here, not up here.
Stands out to you here because at this point the confrontation happens. How do you figure out who was the aggressor?
You know, I don't know that we're ever going to determine that. Again, I have to go back to, we rely on Zimmerman's statement unless and until we have a reason not to.
What about Trayvon Martin? The defense is going to say that his house is actually down around this area. Why didn't he just go home?
What? You see that? You see how the black look?
That's a great question, but we also
look. So he was running to the house, bruh, and was at the house. So the man got shot right in front of his house. Look. The man was shot in front of his house. If the man was shot in front of his house, when his daddy get home. You mean to tell me you was on lunch and you was on a dinner date with your fiance and you and your fiance came back to the house and you mean to tell me you ain't see no yellow tape neighbors, nothing? That's a red flag, bruh. Watch how this black man, if you pay attention, if you look at him, you see he very hostile with the question. He look at him dead in his face with a mean mug. Watch how he finna say it again. Watch this guy.
I want to get Trayvon to figure out where he is, what street he's on to tell police, comes back this way, and Trayvon Martin, according to Zimmerman, circles back up. So there's a couple questions here, but I want to get your take. As a defense investigator, what stands out to you here? Because at this point, the confrontation happens. How do you figure out who was the aggressor?
You see how he asked that boy that question? He look like he wanna look. You see how he asked that boy that question, bruh? He hostile about it. Now look, keep this in mind. Zimmerman said Trayvon must have ran back up. And this is where the scuffle happened. But from my understanding, Trayvon had to be shot right here. So that means he was look, if he got shot in the house, they just exposed the daddy. You mean to tell me you got home and you ain't see, cause look, 9 times out of 10, the body gonna be laying in the grass for 4 hours. And the police gonna be knocking on doors and everything. So when he asked him that, just think about where he coming from, man. Hey, if he chasing this man and this man heading to the house, why would he be running from the house or going back and bumping into, and he know if whoever chasing him, I know this, if somebody was chasing me, I'm not finna go and chase nobody. I'm not finna run back this goddamn way. Is y'all paying attention to what Trey guy just saying? This just exposed his daddy. This just exposed his daddy, bro. Look.
I don't know that we're ever going to determine that. Again, I have to go back to, we rely on Zimmerman's statement unless and until we have a reason not to.
What about Trayvon Martin? The defense is going to say that his house is actually down around this area. Why didn't he just go home?
That's a great question. But we also know from this witness number 8 that he was involved in a conversation and that he knew he was being followed. And maybe, maybe he was trying to impress this young lady. Maybe he didn't want to let her know that he was perhaps concerned that he was being.
And look, and again, they just exposed his daddy even more, because his daddy, look, they came up with that theory that he supposed to be talking to his girlfriend at the time when he supposed to been chased. Come to find out there was a lie, and George Zimmerman sued the family and won. What? Man, ain't this a playbook, Masonic? Look.
But we also know from this witness number 8 that he was involved in a conversation and that he knew he was being followed. And maybe, maybe he was trying to impress this young lady. Maybe he didn't want to let her know that he was perhaps concerned that he was being followed. It's a lot of speculation at this point.
We're going to see a lot of evidence come out of this trial. That's a great point, Charles. All right, let me bring in, Charles, thank you so much. I want to bring in Joseph Scott Morgan, former death investigator, knows all about this case. Joseph, let's talk about the aggressor factor in all this. Take me through the pictures. Tell me what you see. What tells you about who?
Matter of fact, I got to go to the crime scene. But watch what the crime scene finna show. Do y'all remember this? Now you see where he pointing at? They want y'all to believe the struggle happened right here. But I think it happened right in front of his house. And it's gonna be down here, right? Watch this. Watch this. Watch this.
They said, "Do you still want a police officer?" And I said, "Yes." And they said, "Are you following him?" Oh, I'm sorry, back there, they said, "Are you following him?" And I said, "Yes, because I was, in the area." And they said, "We don't need you to do that." And I said, "Okay." So that's when I walked straight through here to get the address so that I could meet the police officer.
Now look where he at. Look where he at. He at the top of the thing.
And then they said, I said, "He's not here." They said, "Do you still want him to come?" And I said, "Yes." And they said, "Where do you want him to come to?" And I said, "You know what, just tell him to meet me at my truck." Dude, I passed here, I looked, I didn't see anything again, and I was walking back to my truck. And then when I got to right about here.
Now look, y'all see that? There go the truck. There go the truck, right? So that means if you're walking from the truck, he got to make a right. He got to make a right? Watch this. Damn. Where the scene at?
I kept yelling, "Help, help." I said, "He's not here." They said, "Do you still want him to come?" And I said, "Yes." And they said, "Where do you want him to come to?" And I said, "You know what, just tell him to meet me at my truck." Dude, I passed here, I looked, I didn't see anything again, and I was walking back to my truck. And then when I got to right about here, he yelled from behind me to the side of me. He said, "Yo, you got a problem?" And I turned around and I said, "No, I don't have a problem, man."
Where was he at? About?
He was about there. but he was walking towards me.
So he's coming from this direction here.
Yes, sir. I believe, like I said, I was already past that, so I didn't see exactly where he came from, but he was about where you are.
Okay.
And I said, no, I don't have a problem. And I went to go grab my cell phone, but I left it in a different pocket. And I looked down in my pant pocket, and he said, you got a problem now. And then he was here, and he punched me in the face.
Right here?
Right up around here.
Okay.
To be honest,
that's fine.
I don't remember exactly.
That's fine.
I think I stumbled, and I fell down. He pushed me down. Somehow he got on top of me.
On the grass or on the cement?
It was more over towards here. I think I was trying to push him away from me, and then he got on top of me somewhere around here. And
if you keep noticing, he keep looking down that way.
That's when I started screaming for help. I started screaming, help, help, as loud as I could. And then is when he grabbed me. Oh, I tried to sit up, and that's when he grabbed me by the head and tried to slam my head down.
Were you on the cement or you on the...
No, my body was on the grass. My head was on the cement.
Okay, so you're basically facing this way?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
That's as best as I could feel through my jacket. Because I felt like my body was on the grass and my head was on the cement, and he just kept slamming it. And I kept yelling, help, 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 as loud as I could. He put his hand on his nose, on my nose, and his other hand on my mouth.
Y'all heard what he just said?
He put his hand on his nose, on my nose, and his other hand on my mouth. He said, shut the up. And then I tried squirming again, because all I could think about was when he was hitting my head against, it felt like my head was going to explode, and I thought I was going to lose consciousness. So I tried to squirm so that I could get, because he only had a small portion of my head on the concrete. So I tried to squirm off the concrete. And when I did that, somebody here opened the door, and I said, help me, help me. And they said, I'll call 911. I said, no, help me. I need help. And I don't know what they did, but that's when my jacket had moved up, and I had my firearm on my right side hip. My jacket moved up, and he saw it. I feel like he saw it. He looked at it, and he said, you're going to die tonight, mother. And he reached for it, but he reached, like I felt his arm going down to my side, and I grabbed it, and I just grabbed my firearm, and I shot him one time.
How you doing? So, everybody behave. And action. Okay, I'm rolling some. Passing retreat view, one retreat view.
Look at the route. They pulling in. This one pulling in.
Today's date is February the 27th. It's now 5:20 in the afternoon, 17:20 hours. And this is reference to Sanford Police case number 2012 5000
1136.
1136.
This is where he tells me first season.
First spots in here?
Yeah.
Okay. Spots. I'm walking through that opening right there?
No. He's walking up through here.
Okay.
He's continuing down Retreat View Circle.
Talking about
Right buildings, or he was walking like in the grassy area, like up towards, kind of between these two poles, and like I said, it was rainy, and he was just leisurely looking at the house, and I like I said, my wife is. I left for the grocery store, and I just felt like something was off about him.
Right.
So I said, and there's been a history of break-ins in that building, and I had called previously about this house.
Right.
When the police arrived at this house, when I called the first time, the windows were open and the door was unlocked. And the police came and secured it. So I said, you know what? It's better to just call. And I kept driving. I passed him, and he kept staring at me and staring around, looking around to see who else was. I don't know why he was looking, but
did he walk off from there, or did he stop there last night?
He stopped, and he like looked around, and that's why. That's what threw me off. Was it's raining. I didn't understand why somebody would be just stopping in the rain, especially, you know, it wasn't like he was trying to run to get out of the rain, and I had never seen him before. Didn't look like he was exercising.
Where was he standing at when he stopped?
Right in front of 1460.
On the sidewalk or in the grass?
No, in the grassy area.
Right in the grassy area?
Yes.
Okay. Like about right in front of where the car is?
Yes, sir.
And then you just...
I drove past him.
Okay.
And I went to the clubhouse.
All right.
Up here on the right-hand side.
And parked it.
So he went to the cut and everything, bruh. So if you know how the layout is, look where he's taking it to the clubhouse.
And what was just naturally, you're good. Naturally, he left. He caught up.
But keep this in mind. I want to know who would be at the clubhouse. Cause it's mighty funny that he would be at the clubhouse. Where they said his daddy was there. Man, let me see. I got to find that junk guy.
You up here or?
Yes, I called the non-emergency line, and when I got through, I parked at the clubhouse.
All right.
And keep this in mind. He was called a non-emergency number line. That's who he was on the phone with the whole time. Just like Miss Teresa was calling a non-emergency numbers. Non-emergency numbers, and they treat me like dispatch. Then look, he going back and forth at the clubhouse, right? Where his daddy say he will be going on he supposed to be on a dinner, right? Going to dinner, right, with his fiance.
And they asked me, where I was, and I told them the clubhouse, and I think I gave them the address to the clubhouse.
Where'd you park at?
Right up here next to that green truck. I don't think that truck was there, but I just pulled up.
In front of the clubhouse, bruh. You see what I'm saying? Hold up.
Okay, so you just pulled in here?
Yes, sir.
And this is where you got out?
No. This is where I just stopped to call, and then he walked past me, and he kept looking at my car, and still looking around at the houses and stuff. So then the dispatcher said, where did he go? What direction did he go in? And I said, I don't know. I lost.
Man, y'all, he just said he on the phone call with non-emergency number. But then when he telling the story, now he's saying yeah, dispatch because he forgot to tell.
Because he cut down here and made a right. I guess it's Twin Trees Lane. He made a right in there, and they said, well, what direction did he go in? And I said, I don't know, I can't see him.
Okay.
And they said, can you get to somewhere where you can see him? And I said, yeah, I can. So I backed out.
All right.
And I made this right here.
Now 9 times out of 10, if you stand in the apartment, everybody gonna know who a part of the neighborhood watch. Everybody gonna basically know of each other. You see what I'm saying? This just ain't no regular neighborhood, bro. And keep this in mind, if his daddy stay over there and Zimmerman stay over there and he control of the neighborhood watch, they know each other. Hello? They know each other.
On the left here. And I parked right about where that sign is in the yard.
In front of the Ford truck?
Yes, and I saw him standing right about here. And I saw him walking back that way and then cut through the back of the houses. He looked back and he noticed me and he cut back through the houses. I was still on the phone with non-emergency. And then he came back and he started walking up towards the grass and then came down and circled my car. And I told the operator that. He was circling my car. I didn't hear if he said anything.
Right.
But he had his hand in his waistband. And I think I told the operator that. And they said, "Where are you?" And I could not remember the name of the street. Because I don't live on this street.
Right.
Retreat View Circle goes in a circle.
Right.
And I said, I don't know. And he goes, "We need."
So you following a nigga soon he get in the neighborhood? Come on, bro. That ain't even right. Look, I'm telling y'all, man. That man daddy got to know him. If he a part of the watch list and if he doing all this, it sound like that man be playing security around the neighborhood. If he talking about he a part of the community watch, I might as well just rename it the community security. You know what I'm saying?
An address. And I said, "I don't know an address." I think I gave them my address. And they said, "Give us directions to get to you." And I said, "If you tell the police to go straight at the clubhouse and make a left, my truck will be there." And again, they asked me where he went, what direction he went in, and I said, "I don't know." And then I thought to get out and look for a street sign.
Right.
So I got out of my car and I started walking.
Right. Go ahead.
Oh. I was still on the phone with non-emergency and I started walking.
Okay.
Down this way. And because I didn't see a street sign here, but I knew if I went straight through that's Retreat View Circle, and I could give him an address because he said, "Just give me the address of the house you're in front of." And there's no address.
Keep this in mind, he told these people he parked at the clubhouse and he also parked right here to get out the truck. Look how long they would have been, bro. So he parked in 2 different areas.
Because these are the back of the houses. So I walked here and I didn't see him at all. I was walking and I was still on the phone with the non-emergency.
Okay.
I got to about here and I had a flashlight with me.
Okay.
The flashlight was dead though. And I looked around and I didn't see anybody. And I told non-emergency, I said, "You know what, he's gone. He's not even here."
Right.
So I still thought I could use their address, so I walked all the way through.
Check this out. I'm going to show you how I afforded this car. Okay, you ready? All right.
I actually walked all the way to the street, and I was going to give them this address, and they said, "Well, if he's not there, do you still want a police officer?" And I said, "Yes." And They said, do you still want a police officer? And I said, yes. And they said, are you following him? Oh, I'm sorry, back there, they said, are you following him? And I said, yes, because I was, in the area. And they said, we don't need you to do that. And I said, okay. So that's when I walked straight through here to get the address so that I could meet the police officer. And then they said, I said, he's not here. They said, do you still want him to come? And I said, yes. And they said, where do you want him to come to? And I said, you know what, just tell him to meet me at my truck next to the clubhouse. If you go straight into the clubhouse and makes a left, I have a Honda Ridgeline, silver Honda Ridgeline parked right there. I'll meet him right there. So
and think about what he just said. Think about the whole narrative, what he said. Remind y'all, he said, hold on, matter of fact, let me do it like this. Remember this? Remember this?
Out to you here, because at this point, the confrontation happens. How do you figure out who was the aggressor? Who was the aggressor in the conflict between him and Trayvon Martin? I'm here with veteran defense investigator Charles Middlestat, and let's go through some of the evidence that will come into this trial about that. Charles, let's start first with this police interview. This is George Zimmerman right here talking about the smothering incident that went on. Let's take a look.
Prior to you shooting him, he was on you, correct? Yes. Okay. And you were able to reach into your holster? Yes. Okay. You shot him at point blank range. He was on top of you, right? Yes. Okay. And although that young, nobody came out to help you, and I can't pinpoint where you were smothered. That's the problem.
Maybe he didn't want to let her know that he was.
Incident that went on. Let's take a look.
Prior to you shooting him, he was on you, correct? Yes. Okay. And you were able to reach into your holster? Yes. Okay. You shot him at point blank range. He was on top of you, right? Yes. Okay. And although that young, nobody came out to help you, and I can't pinpoint where you were smothered.
Did y'all hear that slick question he just said? Did y'all caught that? And nobody came out to help you, right? He said, and nobody came out to help you, right? But don't y'all remember when he was describing that he put his hands around his mouth? I mean, y'all didn't caught that lie?
Started walking back.
Look.
That's the problem I'm having.
That's the problem that I have. Nobody say they saw him smothering you.
Nobody's saying they saw him smothering you. People were saying they saw you on top of you, but they didn't see about the smothering part.
Okay, so that's 3 days after the confrontation. What do you make of that as a defense investigator? Does it tell you anything about who was the aggressor?
Well, what Serino's looking for is to try to determine the consistency of Zimmerman's statement. At this point, unfortunately, the only statement that we have to go on is Zimmerman's. Unfortunately, Trayvon's not here to give his side of this, of this event. And so what you're looking for is either consistency or inconsistency. So Serino's, exploring all of this. And what he has at this point is he has Zimmerman's statement and some other lay witness statements. Nobody really had a good perspective on this thing. And so, that's really all you can do at this point is try to see if things are lining up with what his version is.
All right, that's the key, because his version is the only version they have at this point. Now, let's take a map of the neighborhood right here. And as we look at this, I want you to tell me what you see in all of this. I'm going to use Zimmerman. Let's take it from the point of where he gets right here. This is inside the complex, right? He says at one point, Trayvon Martin, they both came from this route, and Trayvon Martin's coming this way. At one point, he goes this way, comes back, circles the car, right? And then goes down this area. I'm not the greatest artist, but I'm giving
and look, and that's where Trayvon stayed at. Right here. He stayed at right here, so man, dude literally got shot in front of the house, bro. If Trayvon stayed right a couple of houses down, how his daddy did not know that somebody been shot? this would have all been blocked off for hours to the early mornings. So Zimmerman right here, the house right here, Trayvon Martin is right here. And remind y'all, when he was in the police cruiser, then he said when they pulled in, right, they made that little turn. And he said, yeah, where you parked there? Yeah, I went down here and parked by the clubhouse. The clubhouse is right in the clubhouse right across the street from Trayvon Martin's house. Cause he said he pulled back up. You know what I'm saying? Watch this.
You a rough representation of this. Now, Zimmerman at one point, Charles, says he comes back this way to figure out where he is, what street he's on to tell police, comes back this way, and Trayvon Martin, according to Zimmerman, circles back up. So there's a couple questions here, but I want to get your take. As a defense investigator, what stands out to you here? Because at this point, the confrontation happens. How do you figure out who was the aggressor?
You know, I don't know that we're ever going to determine that. Again, I have to go back to, you know, we rely on Zimmerman's statement unless and until we have a reason not to.
What about Trayvon Martin? The defense is going to say that his house is actually down around this area. Why didn't he just go home?
You see that? Look how the black man drilling him as he looking at him. You got him at the house. You got him at the house. Remind y'all, Zimmerman said he also rolled down this street. What? So if the news anchor, he can't even say what he want to say on national TV. He got to ask these devils and accept the lie they give them. Look how he looking. Compared to him. Man, who you fooling?
You know, that's a great question. But we also know from this witness number 8 that he was involved in a conversation and that he knew he was being followed. And maybe, you know...
And you know what? And make it so bad, the daddy put the girl up to this claiming she was on the phone, and that never happened. That never happened. So if that never happened, he was on the phone with the girlfriend. What was going on at this time when he was down there at the house? And then you heard the police specifically ask him, ain't nobody come outside and help you, did it? Why would he ask that? What would make that police officer say that if nobody didn't put that in his head for him to ask those type of questions or whatever information that he had?
Maybe he was trying to impress this young lady. Maybe he didn't want to let her know that he was perhaps concerned that he was being followed. Listen, it's a lot of speculation at this point.
We're going to see a lot of evidence come out of this trial. That's a great point, Charles. All right, let me bring in Charles. Thank you.
You heard how the black man said, yeah, it's a lot of evidence finna come out of this trial. Thank you. Get your ass off my stage.
So much. I want to bring in Joseph Scott Morgan, former death investigator, knows all about this case. Joseph, let's talk about the aggressor factor in all this. Take me through the pictures. Tell me what you see. What tells you about who was the aggressor here?
Okay, Ryan. Obviously, the most noticeable thing that we have here is this focal area that's located right in the center. This is indicative of the gunshot wound. This is what we know. This is the primary point of impact of the weapon as it was fired into Trayvon's chest.
Okay, so that's his stomach. Also the hands. You think if there was a dangerous confrontation that there would be scarring on the hands?
Well, there will certainly be abrasions, potentially contusions. Sometimes contusions can hide. The only thing that we know is that right here on the left hand, the medical examiner has identified this as a nonspecific abrasion. He doesn't state in his report as to whether or not this is a resolving injury or if it's fresh.
Okay, and let's take...
But you've been hit all in the head, your face, look where the black man pointing to.
Take a look at some of this. We've got the scar on the front. That's George Zimmerman on the sides. His hands, and again, you got to meet force with force, but he doesn't have a lot of scars on his hands. What does it tell you?
His hands are completely absent of any kind of visible.
But look what they saying about Trayvon Martin case. You mean to tell me the medical examining officer couldn't tell if they were old wounds or old injuries? Or wasn't no injuries at all?
Trauma on his hands. So that leads us to believe.
So that's why he protect. Look how he went. Look how he protected Zimmerman. Come on, bro. I feel where the black man coming from. He know his bullshit, and he could call him out right now, but he got a job to do. He got a job to do, bro. He asked that man, look, what's most important about this case? Look where he pointed to the bullet hole. He said, okay, he shot the man, right? Yeah, we could agree with that, right? Let's look at some more injuries. Look all the injuries that would be on his body. Arm, shoulders, wrists. Look at all the injuries on his body instead of the bullet wound.
Very point of impact of the weapon as it was fired into Trayvon's chest.
Okay, so that's his stomach. Also the hands. You think if there was a dangerous confrontation that there would be scarring on the hands?
That means they would let you know if Trayvon was trying to fight back. He probably wasn't even trying to fight back. He was probably just trying to get away from him. Because he was screaming and hollering. Think about it. Y'all heard the man scream. If he was screaming like that, 9 times out of 10, he wasn't even swinging, bruh. He wasn't even screaming. He was trying to get away more than anything. So you mean to tell me you shot the man when we supposed to see some type of injury? Because we see all the injuries on his body. But look at the aggressor. If Trayvon is the one that got all the injuries and the gunshot, who is the aggressor now? Who is the aggressor now? Man, y'all better look at this. Y'all better look at this as the law, bruh. To go with the facts proven.
Well, there will certainly be abrasions, potentially contusions. Sometimes contusions can hide. The only thing that we know is that right here on the left hand, the medical examiner has identified this as a nonspecific abrasion. He doesn't state in his report as to whether or not this is a resolving injury or if it's fresh.
Okay.
Man, that man could have had a ring on.
And let's take a look at some of this. We've got the scar on the front. That's George Zimmerman on the sides. His hands, and again, they got to meet force with force, but he doesn't have a lot of scars on his hands. What does it tell you?
His hands are completely absent of any kind of visible trauma on his hands. So that leads us to believe, what was he doing with his hands? Where were his hands when this event was going on? And
on his gun. Now look at the back of his head. Come on, bro.
Of course, on the back side or the posterior side of Zimmerman's head, we have what are referred to as these focal lacerations. Lacerations come from what we refer to as blunt force trauma. That means that these are not incised wounds, they're not slices. This is consistent with an impact injury.
So does that make you think that Martin was the aggressor at that point?
Not necessarily.
Okay.
We don't know how this happened. The potential could exist that his head could have been slammed into the...
But the experts saying they don't know how these injuries got here, but he got them on there. They can't even explain how they got him on there, because if you look at all the marks on his head, you look like, man, look, somebody help that man bust his head, bro.
Into the ground. He could have fallen down. He could have struck something else. We don't know what the origin of these is as of yet.
All right.
Dentists hate when you do this, but they can't stop you. This
When I got to, I passed here, I looked, I didn't see anything again, and I was walking back to my truck. And then when I got to right about here, he yelled from behind me to the side of me. He said, "Yo, you got a problem?" And I turned around and I said, "No, I don't have a problem, man."
Where was he at?
He was about there, but he was walking towards me.
direction here.
Yes, sir. I believe, like I said, I was already past that, so I didn't see exactly where he came from, but he was about where you were.
Okay.
And I said, no, I don't have a problem. And I went to go grab my cell phone, but I left it in a different pocket. And I looked down in my pant pocket, and he said, you got a problem now. And then he was here, and he punched me in the face.
Right here?
Right up around here.
Okay.
To be honest with you, I don't remember exactly. I think I stumbled, and I fell down. He pushed me down. Somehow he got on top of me.
On the grass or on the cement?
It was more over towards here. I think I was trying to push him away from me, and then he got on top of me somewhere around here. And that's when I started screaming for help. I started screaming help as loud as I could. And then is when he grabbed me. Oh, I tried to sit up, and that's when he grabbed me by the head and tried to slam my head down.
Were you on the cement? Or you on the...
No, my body was on the grass. My head was on the cement.
You can't see your best location this way?
Yes, sir. That's as best as I could feel through my jacket. I felt like my body was on the grass and my head was on the cement, and he just kept slamming it. And I kept yelling, help, 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 as loud as I could. He put his hand on his nose, on my nose, and his other hand on my mouth. He said, shut the fuck up. And then I tried squirming again because I kept yelling, help, 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 as loud as I could. He put his hand on his nose, on my nose, and his other hand on my mouth.
So when he said he put his hands on his nose, he was trying to smuggle him, but he kept screaming, and that's when he up and dropped the firearm and shot him. So the autopsy is going to prove that he had to shoot him while Trayvon was on his back, so he was on top while he shot. Cause look, if he shot him, don't you think he supposed to have blood on him? If he shot him point blank range in the chest, blood would have got on him too. So when you go back to this, when he asked him, all right, who's the aggressor? So now you see where all the injury will come on the shoulders. Look at the bruises on the shoulders. Who will be the aggressor? Look at the position that he in. Look at the position that he in. So if he on top of him, he would, look, boom, boom, boom. Boom, boom, boom. You trying to seduce him. Then what you say, what happened next?
He said, shut the fuck up. And
cause I bet you that with him when he put his hand over his mouth like
I kept yelling, help, 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 as loud as I could. He put his hand on his nose, on my nose, and his help, help, as loud as I could. He put his hand on his nose, on my nose, and his other hand on my mouth. He said, shut the fuck up.
And that's what he said, put his hands over his nose and told him, you shut the fuck up. That's when Trayvon started screaming and resisting. And when he started resisting, and when he said shut the fuck up, look what happened next.
And then I tried squirming again because all I could think about was when he was hitting my head against it, felt like my head was going to explode. And I thought I was going to lose consciousness. So I tried to squirm so that I could get, because he only had a small portion of my head on the concrete. So I tried to squirm off the concrete. And when I did that, somebody here opened the door. And I said, help me, help me. And they said, I'll call 911. I said, no.
Now, when he was saying this story, you listen to it closely. Trayvon already been shot. When the witness opened up the door, the gunshot already went off. But when the witness came to the door, he was like, help me, help me, help me. But the other witness was on the 911 call. That's when you heard Trayvon saying, help me, help me. You see what I'm saying? Screaming. So he trying to make it look like and switch the narrative. That was me helping me by manipulating the witnesses. You see what I'm saying?
Help me. I need help. And I don't know what they did, but that's when my jacket moved up and I had my
That was before the witnesses came outside. Watch this. This how he got away with it.
My firearm on my right side hip. My jacket moved up and he saw it. I feel like he saw it. He looked at it and he said, "You're gonna die tonight, motherfucker." And he reached for it, but he reached.
What he told him.
Like I felt his arm going down to my side, and I grabbed it, and I just grabbed my firearm and I shot him one time.
After you shot him, keep on going. What did he say?
After I shot him, he like sat up.
So you're still in this. Keep on going. What did he say?
After I shot him, he like sat up.
So
he just slipped up. When he shot him, he sat up. If he was on top of you, you would have shot him. He would have fell on you. So when you shot him, he sat up, bro. You ain't got to do nothing but listen to him closely. He the worst liar in the world and got caught up. So now you see why he asking these questions and looking at these folks, bro.
Indicative of the gunshot wound. This is what we know. This is the primary point of impact of the weapon as it was fired into Trayvon's chest.
Okay, so that's his stomach. Also the hands. You think if there was a dangerous confrontation that there would be scarring on the hands?
Well,
that's the reason why he asked the question, because Trayvon never put up a fight. He was the aggressor. Look at all the injuries that he was on. That's what the black man know, bro. That's what he know. Cause look, if I was I ain't even got no license in this stuff, but I taught myself how to read autopsy reports, bro. And when I tell you, bro, he want to tell everybody so bad, but he'll lose his whole career. That man said when you shot him.
After you shot him, keep on going. What did he say?
After I shot him, he like sat up.
So you're still in this position here, basically.
Yes, sir.
You're laying down here. You shot him, so he's in the.
You see how the police trying to correct him? You see that? They trying to help him correct him.
Yes, sir. He was on top of me like this. I shot him, and I didn't think I hit him because he
see that. Now he finna switch it like, boom, you shot him in the chest and he finna stand up now.
Sat up and he said, "Oh, you got me. You got it. You got me. You got it." Something like that.
Stand up like that and shot in the chest? No.
So I thought he was just saying, "I know you have a gun now. I heard it. I'm giving up." So I don't know if I pushed him off me or he fell off me. Either way, I got on top of him and I pushed his arms apart.
Now you see that? Now why? Now look, if you listen to what he just said when he was the aggressor, when he was choking him out, right? Just think about this.
I said, try to flip him over.
I don't remember how I got on top of him. I'm sorry.
That's fine.
See, the police got to keep, man, this real bad.
But I got on his back and I moved his arms apart because when he was repeatedly hitting me in the face and the head, I thought he had something in his hands. So I moved his hands apart.
But this after when you shot him, though. You just said you shot him.
Towards the grass and then came down and circled my car. And I told the operator that. He was circling my car. I didn't hear. Still thought I could use their address, so I walked all the way through. I stumbled. I jacket moved up, and he saw it. I feel like he saw it. He looked at it, and he said, "You're gonna die tonight, motherfucker." And he reached for it, but he reached, like, I felt his arm going down to my side, and I grabbed it, and I just grabbed my firearm, and I shot him one time.
After you shot him, keep on going. What did he say?
After I shot him, he, like, sat up.
So you're still in this position.
He even did the motion what you would do.
You're basically
Yes, sir.
laying down here. You shot him so he's in the grass.
Yes, sir. He was on top of me like this. I shot him, and I didn't think I hit him because he sat up and he said, "Oh, you got me. You got it. You got me. You got it." Something like that. So I thought he was just saying, "I know you have a gun now. I heard it. I'm giving up." So I don't know if I pushed him off me or he fell off me. Either way, I got on top of him and I pushed his arms apart. I said,
"Try to flip him over."
I don't remember
That's
how I
fine.
got on top of him. I'm sorry.
That's fine.
But I got on his back and I moved his arms apart because when he was repeatedly hitting me in the face and the head, I thought he had something in his hands. And so I moved his hand.
First you said the man was slamming your head on the back of the concrete, but now you saying the man was hitting you on the back of the head. So you trying to come up with a story how you got head injuries. So if he was hitting you back on the head, causing damage, why wasn't no blood on his hands? Why they didn't put no DNA test on his hands? DNA would have told everything. You ain't got to check for no, you know what I'm saying, clip the nails. You could have scratched them. Look for scratch marks. You see what I'm saying? If there's anything, it could have been scratch marks.
Well, there will certainly be abrasions, potentially contusions. Sometimes contusions can hide. The only thing that we know is that right here on the left hand, the medical examiner has identified this as a nonspecific abrasion. He doesn't state in his report as to whether or not this is a resolving injury or if it's fresh.
Okay, and let's take a look at some of this. We've got the scar on the front. That's George Zimmerman on the sides. His hands, and again, they got to meet force with force.
So if they got all these scars on the face, how they get there if Trayvon Martin didn't do it? Point exactly. Now look. Oh, I already went to Kendrick Johnson, John. Hold on. There was the funeral home that's closed on the Kendrick Johnson case. It's the Trayvon Wikipedia, the George Zimmerman Wikipedia. You know he is Hispanic. You know what I'm saying? You know, y'all know he a Mason. He licensed the arm. You know, do a background check on him. He was arrested for domestic violence, also another shooting. You see what I'm saying? Uh-oh. Here we go. Nah, ain't that racism? He began selling prints of painting of Confederate battle flags. Look, the Twitter scandal. Now, he arose on his Twitter profile, and this in 2015. Now look, all of this going on Twitter. Look, Zimmerman retweeted a poster of Martin's slain body posted by another Twitter user with the caption, "The man, it is a one-man army." Several days later, Zimmerman posted letter of the photo. Original tweet was marked as sensitive and was blocked. And then he retweeted it because of the text message without seeing the photo. Man, come on. Now you think what white supremacists would be hacking Trayvon Martin account? Everybody knows he was a white supremacist. Look. And he a hacker too. Then not only that, he was selling Trayvon target range posters to the police department. He at the bar using racism. Look, Zimmerman sued the Martin family involvement in the trial for $100 million on the ground of false evidence and abuse of process. They dismissed the lawsuit. What found no evidence support of no theories of Zimmerman claim. Zimmerman filed a defamation lawsuit against Burgess. Elizabeth Warren, they dismissed that. But in court though, he did file a lawsuit to the Martin family. I guess this the same one, but it was about that when they said the evidence of false evidence, cause they used his girlfriend with that false phone statement to I was last on the phone with Trayvon Martin when he died and he shot. Coming out, there was a lie. This had to be a part of the lawsuit. They just ain't just air all of that out. And then look, they even featured a man on South Park. Look how much fame that man got on South Park, Comedy Central. You know what I'm saying? He got TV shows, interviews, all of that. Of racism.
I think it was on his Twitter, this is Robert Zimmerman, where he said one in the same or something like that, Trayvon Martin, the victim, and this other individual, the perpetrator. So Piers Morgan had him on and they were talking about it, and the interview is disturbing and compelling all the same. Let's take a look at a little bit of it.
The second one, if I'm blatantly honest with you, I thought was bordering on outright racism. Right. It seemed to me that what you were saying was, this is why young blacks are risky. In other words, that is why my brother George did what he did to Trayvon Martin.
Yeah, certainly that's one way to read it. And that seems to be the way that a lot of people have interpreted it. And I don't think Twitter is the place to make points about what you recall a year ago, because the recollections that I have or that we have as a family specifically are very different than what can be portrayed in 140 characters. Now,
let's stop there. If Twitter is not the place to bring in recollections of things that happened a year ago, why are you doing it on Twitter based on your recollection of what happened a year ago being similar to what happened with this kid who shot a baby in the face? It seems that if other people aren't supposed to be doing it, he shouldn't be either. And I guess he's kind of saying it was a mistake, but very weird. Let's continue watching.
I realize those were controversial and offensive, and I did publicly apologize for them. I don't think it was the right thing to do that way. One of the point about the pictures was the larger point on the media and their honesty in portraying.
Man, that man was finna laugh when he talked about those pictures. Look.
Very weird. Let's continue watching.
I realize those were controversial and offensive, and I did publicly apologize for them. I don't think it was the right thing to do that way. One of the point about the pictures.
See that? Come on, bruh. Come on, when they talk about the old picture, look how he finna straighten up.
Was the larger point on the media and their honesty in portraying.
He back in character mode.
don't think it was the right thing to do that way. One of the point about the pictures was the larger point on the media and their honesty in portraying the person who encountered my brother February 26. We've been led to believe that it's a junior high school aged person because of the pictures, the way he's portrayed.
Well, he was 17.
Well, we'll never interview Trayvon Martin. We'll never see Trayvon Martin, but we have...
You didn't dispute he was 17.
No, of course not, Pierce. I'm not gonna
So you're talking about a young 17-year-old boy?
Well, a young...
He can't stop smiling about the old pictures, bro.
Who had gone from his father's house to buy some Skittles from a store.
Okay, so now we're back to the Skittles from the store. Here, let me explain.
We're not back to that, but the reason why I want to take you back to that is that when...
All right, so I think we kind of get a sense. It's uncanny how this type of disingenuous, disconnected, almost sociopathy seems to be possibly hereditary or genetic, Lewis.
17 months after shooting Trayvon Martin and 3 weeks after his murder trial began, George Zimmerman is a free man tonight. The GPS tracking device gone from his ankle, the gun he used in the shooting, his if he wants it back. A jury of 6 women acquitted Zimmerman of...
What? Didn't he get the gun back if he wanted? Didn't he auction the gun now?
Murder and manslaughter charges late Saturday night in Florida, but life is anything but back to normal. First came the protests, and now there could be a civil suit and or a federal case brought by the Justice Department. The former neighborhood watchman has not spoken yet, but just a short time ago, Barbara Walter sat down exclusively with Zimmerman's parents and joins us now with that. Barbara.
Well, yes, Bill. George Zimmerman did not take the stand in this trial. He is in hiding. He has not spoken publicly since his acquittal. But today, his parents, Robert and Gladys Zimmerman, talked openly about the polarizing trial for the first time together without their appearance hidden in silhouette as it has been. They told me about their fears for their son and for themselves. We begin with a question on many people's minds. Is your son George a racist?
Absolutely not. He's never been taught to be a racist.
That is a question that so many people have been asking since George Zimmerman was found not guilty in a trial that riveted and divided the nation.
We, the jury, find George Zimmerman not guilty.
The controversial verdict immediately sparked protests.
No justice, no peace! No justice, no peace!
And hundreds gathered in the streets of San Francisco, New York, and other cities.
Justice for Trayvon Martin! And we want justice, and we want it now for Trayvon Martin!
Twitter exploded with 48,000 tweets a minute immediately after the verdict. 2 days later, 6 million tweets and counting have been sent, revealing a deeply conflicted nation. Conservative pundit Ann Coulter came down in support of the verdict, saying, "Hallelujah." New York Giants wide receiver Victor Cruz tweeted and then deleted. Zimmerman doesn't last a year until the hood catches up to him. Are you concerned for George's safety?
Yes, I do.
Yes?
Yes.
Why? What do you think could happen?
It's a lot of death threats on, in the social media, death threats on him. That I'm concerned, not only for Georgie, but for, the whole family.
In such a charged atmosphere, even George's parents, Robert and Gladys Zimmerman, have received death threats. Can you give me some idea of what some of the threats have been?
Every one of George's DNA should be killed. Just every kind of horrible thing you can imagine.
Do you have to live in hiding, do you think?
Yes.
Yes?
Yes.
You don't give friends or family your address?
No.
And you're living, I guess you can't tell me where then?
Correct.
Central Florida, but...
Someplace in Florida. But where?
My wife's brothers have no idea where we live or...
Really? So for you to do this interview and show your faces, that takes a lot of courage.
Yes.
Both parents testified during the trial, stating that the voice heard on the 911 call screaming was their son's.
Do you know whose voice that was screaming in the background?
Yes, sir.
And whose voice was that?
My son, George.
And are you certain of that?
Because he's my son.
Absolutely, it's my son, George.
Did you feel it was self-defense?
Oh, yes.
Did you see or think when the incident happened that it was racial?
Absolutely not.
There are people who say that your son targeted Trayvon Martin because Martin was black. How do you answer them?
Absolutely not. Absolutely not.
Tell me.
Man, look, I'm gonna tell y'all like this here. Y'all wanna know what the most crazy part about this? If you a high-ranking Mason and your ranking is higher than a police chief. If this country was founded on Freemasonry, when it came to the presidents, it's all them folks. Then look how much power Freemason got over the police department. Freemason all in Hollywood. Freemasons all in the court system. Do y'all see that, man? This what I found out, gang. That United States is really a satanic country, bro. Bruh, we living in a devil state. Hollywood. Look at all the symbols. Look at all the movies they give us. But we so blinded and entertained by it that we'll pay a ticket just to see this stuff. Make it so bad. You want to know how the United States is so wicked, gang? Man, let Trey Gang break it down to you. When I was doing my research, it all dawns on me. Masonry came over here, founded the country, tried to boot everybody that was off this country if they didn't want to go with the New World Order. So when they came over here, they brought all they pagan gods with them. All our holidays is pagan gods. One thing I know about Hollywood, when they gave us movies, let's go to the chat scene. They gave us movies with a bunch of witchcraft in it. These the same Hollywood. Everybody already know what's going on in Hollywood. We ain't no stranger. We know there's a lot of paraphernalia going on in there. We know there's a lot of, you know what I'm saying, devil worshiper. Right? Look what P. Diddy got caught up in. Look what he representing, the devil. If you look at America, all the holidays are pagan God. When Hollywood used to come out with those Star Trek movies and those Marvel movies, that you know what I'm saying, all of them is real gods. Look, and make it so bad, the military is the backbone when it come to Freemasonry. That's who give the real order. Look, this country, this continent was stolen by Freemasons so they can expand, start their new world order, so how they can keep people enslaved and work for them. They built companies, business on y'all land, on my land. Man, look, if we want to give black people their land back, guess what you gotta do? You gotta knock down all the buildings they done built on them. That means, hey man, you need to get your building up off of her. We got a bulldoze. We talking about downtowns, uptowns, suburbs, and everything. So look, when you don't see no Hollywood actresses in church on a Sunday morning just like y'all do, they still pottering and doing drugs. You see what I'm saying? Nobody don't even know what these people religions is. Remind y'all, a young thug got caught doing rituals with a goat. The presidents got caught doing ritual and sacrificing kids at Bethlehem Grove. The United States is ran by the devil, bro. If you read your Bible in the book, in the Old Testament, they told everybody, oh, we communicate with angels. We see angels all the time. They look just like humans. And then what make it so bad, the real reason why you ain't go see the real family in charge, because if you see these people, you'll be like, wait a minute, them people don't look normal. Check this out, y'all. I remember one time I was walking down the street and this dude approached me and gave me a word of advice. And it stuck with me right today. And I was like, and I told my nigga now, you know what I'm saying? I like, man, bro, man, I was walking down the street, I don't know who dude was. But it's like, man, dude had to been an angel. You know what I'm saying? Cause dude, when he told me, man, I don't know how that man know I was depressed, bro. That man told me, man, look, you gotta snap out that depressed. Don't worry about nobody thinking, man. Look, man, God, man, saw his people down here. And his people gonna, you know what I'm saying? And I'm like, what? It touched me in a way. And I'm like, man, I really felt like that I was encountered by an angel before that looked like a human. Mm-hmm. But yeah, gang, I'm finna exit this live and I'm finna go right back live because now I'm finna talk about Kenneka and hold on, who I need, Lisa Lamb. Check this out. Everybody know who be owning these hotels. And y'all know she got killed at the Sicily Hotel. Y'all know, you know what I'm saying, Sicily, Italy. You know, this go all the way back to Italy, bro. The mob. If you see who owned that junk, don't y'all know, look, watch this. I'm finna give y'all a reason why I'm back to the channel, cause her of the Sicily Hotel, right, where she died at. If you look up the history of the hotel, look how many people that died in this hotel. Look how many people that died in this hotel alone. Watch this. Reputation for violence, suicides, and murders. W.K. Norton died in this room after taking poison capsules. It was in 1931. It looked like suicide. So what if that's like what we see today is how we be suspected that these people be drugged. They'll drug these people to stage the room with all these empty bottle pills around and needles and rule it a homicide. Look how they been doing this. He was a long time resident. And it became popular nickname in social media years later. It came notorious for adulterous couple, drug activities, a common ground for what? What? 1964, a tyrant telephone operator named Panga Gorgon, who has been well known and well liked at the residence, was found dead in her room. She was stabbed, beaten, assaulted, and all of this stuff. The room was ransacked. Janquilla B. Eager was charged with the murder because he was seen covered in blood roaming the street close to the hotel, but later cleared as a suspect and the murder still remained unsolved. Now look at this. You got the famous serial killer, Richard, right? The Night Stalker. Look, he was a regular on Skits Road. Everybody known him. He stayed at the Sicily Hotel for weeks. He reportedly committed 14 murders while resided there. Look, you got a serial killer? Let's go back to them 1980 murders. On August 1985, a group of Los Angeles residents spotted him in the street and prevented him from escaping till police arrived and arrested him. In 1989, he was convicted for 13 murders and sentenced to death. Another serial killer. What? He was known for committing murders in Australia and Germany and the United States. He across the border. He said he stayed at the Sicily at 1991, where he started copying his crimes, where he strangled and killed at least 3 prostitutes. Crimes had been convicted in Australia. 2013. They rebranded the job. They painted it, advertised it. It became the focus of the renewal and attention with surveillance footage of a young college student. Wait a minute. And keep this in mind, the Sicily Hotel is on the Host Road, right? And if you look up at Skid Row right now, boy, the homeless took over Skid Row. Look, there go the homeless, look. Skid Row, look what it look like now. Boom. Bruh, this was once a popular town, bruh.
Convicted of 13 murders and sentenced to death, although he would ultimately die of cancer in 2013, 34, another serial killer, Austrian Jack Unterweger, stayed at the Cecil in 1991, possibly because he sought to copy Ramirez's crimes. 35. While there, he strangled and killed at least 3 prostitutes, crimes he was convicted of in Austria. In 2013, the Cecil, by then rebranded as the Stay on Main, although still maintaining the original Hotel Cecil signs and painted advertisements on its exterior, became the focus of renewed attention when surveillance footage of a young Canadian student, Elisa Lam, behaving erratically in the hotel's elevator was disseminated widely in international media. The video depicts Lam repeatedly pressing the elevator's buttons, walking in and out of the elevator, and possibly attempting to hide from someone. It was recorded shortly before her disappearance. After 19 days, her naked body was discovered in a water supply cistern on the hotel roof, following complaints from guests of odd-tasting water and low pressure.
And that sounds like a ritual. Now look, I didn't even know this game. I ain't even know this. But check this out. Y'all know them celebrity sex tapes that was coming out, like Sexy Red, sex tape, Ray J, sex tape, R. Kelly, sex tape. You know, all these sex tapes that were coming out. And y'all want to know the real reason why those sex tapes were coming out? Because there was a humiliation sacrifice ritual that means what that lady said about he did it. She said this the reason why a lot of people be saying this, why a lot of celebrities tapes be getting leaked. Because it's a humiliation sacrifice. If you get out of line, they release a sex tape because it's gonna destroy your career and stuff. And it's and you can blackball people. So I was like, oh, that's why those celebrities be getting exposed. Like, why? How would somebody have access to your sex tape? And they leak it, and then look, and then they be leaking it all on Instagram, and they don't know how it got leaked. But if you look at the phone, look at Sexy Red. Somebody was filming that girl, bro. Why she had to be up on a drug. She had to be out of her mind doing that, bro.
Pressure. How she got into the water tank long remained a mystery. 36. The floor Lamb stayed on was one of the floors that did not have security footage, which left uncertainty as to whether her death was a homicide until Lamb's sister had revealed to detectives that Lamb had a history of not taking her medication. Among her possessions left at the hotel were several prescription medications, seemingly untouched. Lamb had previously been diagnosed with an extreme form of bipolar disorder and was known for displaying similar psychotic behavior in the past, also claimed by her friends to act strange at times when her medications were not taken. 37. Police ruled that her erratic behavior on the elevator was caused by a paranoid hallucination.
And then look, Fred, what you just said, you made a valid point. You said, sure, prove that you can't be a celebrity unless you play that game. Watch this. That means everybody that's famous, they did what they had to do to be famous, bro. Because they already told you, hey, you can't climb the ladders if you don't do what you said. So look at all these people that famous. But look at the people that got famous accidentally. You see them ritual tapes. And I swear, if they leak out I don't think I want to see no tapes from P. Diddy the way they explain it there, bro. Bro, it's finna be a whole lot of opinion and feces. I don't even think, and then check this out. I'm gonna be honest with you. I believe a lot of people really mad at P. Diddy because, well, look, I believe it's a lot of people jealous on, but they know they be want to go to them freak out party they goddamn self. Some of these folks ain't nothing but some freaks. Man, I know a handful of niggas right now in the hood. Can't wait to hit those P. Diddy parties. See what I'm saying? Man, look, I know a handful of female, man. I can't wait to go to them gyms. Wait a minute, I know you a freak. And then look at all these people winning there. Just imagine that, man. You see, look, these people came to you with like, man, I'm gonna change your whole life. You know these, and then that man said, you gotta blow my booty pop. Man, they said P. Diddy walking around butt naked with the lollipop logo, Lucky Charm sign on his butt cheeks. Bro. Man, them folk will make you hit a donkey. Come on, I want you to see you hit this donkey. And then you gotta hit that donkey, and you hit that donkey, you pass the ritual, and really it's just a video for them to record so they can have some type of dirt on you. So now you know that video exists. So that's why they still be in check. They don't want that video exists. So they just gonna be start singing, book jumping, dancing on the stage. You know what I'm saying? I'd be scared if you start listening to their songs in backward. It'll be really a sex tape. You get your booty ate, and that's what you sound like. Oh my God, it was oh my God. Listen to it in reverse. It sounds like a sex tape. Only thing you got to do is play some of that porn music and play that audio. You know what I'm saying? That's why I don't even listen to their music, because you want to know why how powerful P. Diddy was? Because I ain't even go lie. P. Diddy the one that got every rapper round now rapping all about beef. Man, before the Tupac and Biggie, no nigga just wasn't just really beefing like that. You know what I'm talking about? So look, bruh. No, what y'all mean don't start? I'm finna start. Look, I'm finna start right now. Man, just imagine they done set you up. Man, I already know what they did to Bow Wow. I feel sorry for Bow Wow. Did y'all see that Orlando, when Orlando had the way he did Ray J? Man, he must got some tea on Ray J, cause man, the way that man did Ray J, I'm like, man, that man told Ray J, he said, man, that nigga lying, that nigga sucking dick. And then swallowed the whole microphone. Ray J looked at that nigga like, man, please he don't even want to fight him. Normally Ray J ready to jack, right? When you say some things like that, but when it come to him, he ain't got nothing to say. Like, then he let that man kiss his hand when he treat that man like a real bitch. You know what I'm saying? Man, y'all want me to start up? All right, I'm finna start up, gang. You know what I'm talking about? I'm gonna go exit out this live and we'll be right back.